I can try.
Sure.
Do it like Johnny Bravo.
Roll history.
Hey, man. There's a thing that's happening. Hey. Uh, we had defeated Troll King and tried to decide whether or not we were going to rest afterwards. So we decided to go outside the cave to sleep for a little bit. Spent the night and then came back in looking for danger. And then we went kind of the northwest caves and it was kind of dark, so we kind of had the druid and the orc scouting ahead, and Glizzik was like the tether between them and the rest of the people that couldn't see in the dark. Eventually, we found a couple guys coming out of the walls that seemed to be really different trolls. But ended up finding, I think they were cavern trolls. And we found little bits of gold nuggets in several of the other little caverns and claw marks. And we ended up fighting the trolls and just defeating them is about where we ended it.
We
That
whooped their
mission.
ass too.
Yeah. Well, a lot better because Dargan said that there were like 5 different in the AC from the Troll King, so it made it a little bit easier to actually land a blow on them. So yeah,
And
it
you
was a
guys
lot.
work better together.
It was a lot better than the last fight before that. Yeah. Did I miss anything big?
Everything.
Hmm. I know
Hey,
nothing, Jon Snow.
you forgot
Goblin.
about what was spotted in the walls.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you can definitely see it.
You could see it once there was light, as we all could.
Yep. Once there was light.
Yeah, but not until here, because all I was using was my dark vision.
Well, yeah, dark vision kind of blends
Pink
in.
crystals and
Well, the crystals aren't really crystals. That's where the gold is. You know, the pyrite.
mhm.
So we will pick it up as the combat has just ended. The cavern trolls are dead on the ground.
Bagno. Oh, sorry, too soon, too late.
Bag died in the other cave, and then you guys ate him for dinner.
Ah, they all look the same.
What, trolls and ogres?
I was talking about caves, but
Oh, okay. So take her away.
a cave that looked like a cavern, and that one cavern that looked like a cave.
Put the cave in cavern.
I will pick up my torch.
Okay.
The most important way to start this session.
Yes, I'm not leaving it here.
Aziz, light. Thank you, Aziz.
I'm gonna steal her torch and then make another torch and replace it with it.
I'm looking at who's hurt, and it seems mainly to be Mystic and a little bit Sun. Krug has got a little bit of wounds.
Don't worry about the mystic. He's not here, so.
Okay, because he's hurt in both forms. So if we
Oh,
patch up the orc and the kitty, we should be good.
Yeah, and I'm. Well, 12 of that can't be healed because of the elixir.
Ah,
Or
okay.
mutagen, sorry.
Yeah, that'll be it. That'll end. By the
I
time
mean,
the
you're
treatment is
not
done.
horrible. You're not at half yet, so
More than enough time to collect our shit and get the fuck out before something else happens.
at this point, you still have at least Glizzic level hit points. Well, we saw nuggets around the area. Do you want to try and look around for some more nuggets here now that
Well,
we've
the nuggets we had, we figured came from these ore, these
hmm.
veins.
But I
It's
mean,
not that
did
it's not that they just had like nuggets literally laying around, just
no,
in
there are
nugget
not.
form.
free gold just in the cave?
Gold in the walls, if you had some way to mine it.
All right, so if we chop off the hands of the trolls and then wear them like gloves,
I'll go on, keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
and then just power through the walls that way.
All right. So who has a slashing weapon that can cut stuff off?
Kruga, obviously.
I'll just rip them off.
Yeah. Okay.
You just
That's easy to do.
stand on top of them and just pull straight up. feet bracing on the arm.
Sometimes the bone comes out and you have this convenient little handle.
Like one of the trash picker things.
Yep.
If you squeeze the nerves at the right spot, it'll close and hold, and
Right.
Exactly. See?
Ooh, we can use electric arc to actually make the muscles grab. Well, I don't have any digging tools.
I don't think we've got the means to do any sort of real
Yeah.
digging.
I have a crowbar.
There
I
you
don't think
go.
we've got any tools to do any real digging.
I couldn't see a lot of the way that we came here. Did we pass any side passages that they may have used to store gold somewhere?
Walked by pretty much this entire cave, and I did not see any. Right, Zargan? I didn't see any.
correct.
Trying not to
Hmm.
go too much knowledge from what Mystic was saying or what you told him. But basically, it seemed like there were scratch marks in the other cave parts, much
There's
like
some
we
in
saw
here too.
here. Yeah. But we didn't just see like piles of stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah. But this is like the end of the cavern. There's nothing further as far as we saw.
Correct.
Do the trolls have anything on them?
They do not.
Are they dissolving into puddles like the other ones did?
No, well, the other ones were burning because you guys were burning them or aciding them. These you didn't. These, well, actually, they were acid arrowed, so they are kind of melting some. Because Valis hit them with some acid arrows. Faint little sizzle and a nice stench.
So, assuming no side paths that we missed, then there's not really much left for us to be here for, right? This is the back of the cavern. Nothing else to.
You have not seen any other passages.
When you guys came upon these ones, though, did they just pop out at you, or were they working, or what?
No, they came from the walls.
From
Wall trolls.
the walls. Like,
They
past
did
the
it seem like
ceiling?
they like dug out of them, or
Looks
they
almost
just
like
kind
they
of
were
molded.
blended in or like camouflaged.
Oh, I thought you meant like they phased through the walls. I mean, that's
No,
pretty cool.
nope.
That.
So these stony troll things had like their own crystalline growths and shit on them while they
Yep.
were. Yeah, I'll scrape slash crack off a few bits and pieces of that, as well as some of their what might pass as flesh, whatever hasn't been melted or destroyed.
Yeah,
Different
remember, here's their picture.
Yeah, I just didn't know how accurate it was to it.
Nope, it
Because
is.
because I think I know where that's from. So I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'll take some samples of this one. Different kind of troll, maybe different kind of regen, different kind of applications.
That would
Okay.
swing poaching.
Nothing serious. The crystals that they're made of that appear to be like, I'm trying to think of the word. They seem reminiscent of actual crystal or more of an aesthetic growth of their own actual regular skin.
More of like some sort of growth.
Okay.
Were
Then
were the crystals crystally? Is the question?
yeah, I'll take a little of this, a little of that, and then I'll be good to go.
I am still holding 3 lesser elixir of light.
Yeah, I think
Life.
we've only used one so far today.
Yeah, so if you guys need them. While he's working over the bodies, I'd like to examine the walls. Maybe. It seems weird to me that they just came out of the wall. Maybe there's a passage or something I could look for.
Sure, go ahead and roll perception.
Da 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 da.
Nice.
Nope, you don't find anything like that. I mean, there's some like depressions and stuff, and almost
But
looks on what he describes. They were like almost like camouflage. He just like walked down and became like kind of like Predator kind of.
PETA. From Hunger
But
Games.
but at least you're sure of that.
We got walls.
I heard Zargan say that because of the Nat 20, he knew they had depression.
Mm-hmm. They're very different sad trolls, is what it
They
was.
were.
My cheetah's elixir already out. Should have been 10 minutes. Can't because I thought I had it at the start after they started some fighting. I mean, it's gonna be out after the next.
No, well,
This was the first thing I did in the first round. I could have swore I slapped myself with it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because you wanted to get caught up because we were kind of far ahead.
I have 80 pitty feats.
Pity
I mean,
patty.
if we take 10 minutes or slightly less than 10 minutes on anything, even just leaving this, it's gonna end. But I was just looking through my list and like I'm down a cheetah's elixir, and I remember I took it. So where's the buff?
yeah, I don't see the buff on you though. Did you give yourself the buff?
Pretty sure I did because I had the speed. I can give it to me again, but it's gonna be down a few rounds, however long the
I
combat
wouldn't worry
was.
about doing it right now. I mean, I'm not sure what you guys are planning on doing, so
Like I said, yeah.
Battle Royale.
If anything takes about
as
9
he attacks
minutes.
Sakara.
Yeah, if that's about it, and there's nothing really left to glean off these things.
Doesn't Zakari's just gonna be staring at the walls. Doesn't it bug you? They've scratched out this whole place. Do you think they threw it out?
Through what out?
The the gold, the shiny parts.
Oh no, we found some gold, I thought.
Yeah, we got a bunch of nuggets.
We did find
They-
nuggets,
Yeah,
Just
but
not
we
here.
found them
yeah.
on
They
the
did
troll.
say they had an agreement with the other trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but yeah, they had a couple on the other cave, the regular
the-
trolls and the
And
king.
the Troll King had a little stack.
Yeah, but I thought we had a little bit of nuggets we found throughout the caves that were just by the scratching and stuff. No.
No.
Now, like
Hmm.
we didn't find any nuggets on the ground. All the nuggets we found belonged to somebody beforehand.
Yes.
Yeah, we found some strains in the wall of gold, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's gold veins here, but no, they hadn't just like had a pile of flakes on the ground.
Yeah, back in this section here, to the northeast of this area where it's really heavily crystallized there, the gold is pretty obvious here. I mean, in the other places, there's like little thin streamers of it and stuff. But in here, it's probably a good, half inch in like chunks and stuff.
But there's rock attached to a lot of the chunks
Oh,
we found too.
oh yeah. It's not like one big node of gold you just, reach in there and pull it out. No, you'd have to mine.
What if we really wanted it?
Well,
What
rocket,
are you
then
gonna
you
do?
could take it, but
And you
you
just
have to
say
take it.
mine. That's all you have to do.
Yes. Mine.
There you go.
Mine.
Mine.
Hey, wait.
Turn in-
Don't you got Raz? Don't you got telekinesis? You can just yank it out of the rock. Isn't that how it works?
Maybe what Valdis has got can do that. My shit has to be unattended and not thoroughly secured. That's why you tie down all of your loose ends, kids, before the ride gets bumpy.
Before
Is that-
Raz throws you across the room.
Yeah. There's no way I'm tall enough to ride that ride.
I do believe you are the short one.
Yeah, the heights of the
So?
background are generally to scale.
Yep, Raz is Glizzik is the shortest. Not by much, but he is the shortest.
When you're only about three and some change tall, even an inch matters.
I'm sure
Like I
that's what
said-
you tell all the ladies.
6-inch platform shoes.
I'm big for a gnome.
That's right.
No, see, that's how you sell yourself short. Heck, get it? No, what you tell them is you're big for a human. Well, if there's nothing else, then we should leave. Unless anybody else has got some ideas in this little cave.
Is there anything magical, Valis?
I can check. And I'll throw up the detect magic.
He just blinks and his eyes are now illuminated like
Nope,
headlights.
just the stuff that people are carrying.
My shiny new badge.
Your sheriff badge.
This is deputy badge.
Deputy.
Guess we'll head out then.
Okay. Teach you guys, 5 minutes or so to walk out through this cave, then out through the one back outside to the main map.
So what's it gonna take for you to learn that scrying scroll, Valis? That's your wheelhouse, right?
Need to get a bit more powerful before I can do that, though.
A little too complicated.
For right now, yeah.
It's right there.
You
Like how
should
they-
use it then.
He can cast it once.
All right. Once he does it the once, though, he won't be able to do it again. Not unless he learns it himself when he levels, I assume. But he'd have to use one of his spells known.
That was the wrong map,
Ah.
wasn't it? Didn't have the danger and gold cave exposed.
This is the right one.
Yeah.
So we're going out, Zargan. Will there be some way or something you can roll to recall how expensive it is to like purchase someone's
Soul.
usage for someone's soul? Depends on where you go. You definitely don't want to go down to the first layer of hell.
Well, if you need some
Um,
souls, Nanol has a deal for you.
I
What
like
is it?
at least 4.5 stars from my people with like thousands of reviews at least.
The new
Sure,
ones
he has
have
them
a
all right here
Georgia.
in a triplicate.
So, would there be a check associated with like recalling how much it would take to purchase, someone casting a spell for a day? Like, scrying.
I think I have Scrying is 6th level.
Oh,
What little bit you guys have, heard for 6th level, you're talking like 150, 160 gold.
have you ever thought of becoming a fortune teller, Valis?
I have. Pick me.
Yeah. But Valis will actually have the means to do it.
I even have bones. Look. Starts rattling the little bag of them in.
Not really. I don't think I could pull off the whole old lady in a cart thing.
Hey, my mom was an old lady with a cart.
What level you gotta be for 6th level spells there? We
13th.
talk. Ooh, so Valis is way off from that thing.
Yep.
This is like 4 or 5 years of material down the road.
Yeah.
Isn't it 11?
It'd be 5th, right? Because it's
6th.
double it and add 1. No,
Is
you
it the
might be
same
right.
for this? Because you can get
Double it
10th
and
level
minus
spells
1.
in this.
Double it and minus 1. Yeah, you're right. 11th.
11.
Slightly better.
So,
Yeah.
so little close.
Dude.
Shave a couple of years off that program.
It's 5 more levels, though.
Yeah, he can either
5
attempt
for
to
you.
use it now one time, or we wait for
I mean,
a while.
it is a common spell, so when he's able to get that spell level, he could pick that spell up. I'm pretty sure scrying is a common one.
What a common
Active
basic
check.
It's uncommon.
Is it uncommon?
Ooh.
Okay.
That makes it a
It's
lot more
special.
valuable then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at any uncommon or better freaking alchemical shit because I don't want to get my hopes up.
So Blizzard can't learn that spell?
I don't know if it's also primal.
It's a cult.
It's a cult.
Yep. Which is not you.
That's not Ishi either then.
It's
It's
arcane,
arcane
and a
and
cult.
occult.
Ah, okay, then that works. Yeah,
Our cult.
yeah. If
In
we
the
had like
middle
a
of-
bard, maybe, but we
Bard
don't.
would be a cult, yeah.
Nox, yeah. You can give it to
At
the
some point.
NPC.
I always know those bards were no good, always running around creating cults that they convince people they're
So
gods
basically, Ishi can
Right.
cast it now because it's in his spell list without no checks. A couple of you can make a check to cast it with your trick magic items feat. And that, or you can hold on to it, or you get back down and you can sell it for a nice little chunk of change. Ugh, I
chunk,
can't tell.
chunk of change.
Chunk of change. Chunk of cane.
Conja change.
Yep. Kunta Kinte.
I mean, that's kind of. I mean, that's something Valis will be able to use later to be able to redo the spell over and over and over. It's just not anytime soon.
Valis needs to kill more boars.
I do.
I'm worried about Kane.
There's a few of us that have some concerning things to look into. That's why I was curious about the price of scries back home. Especially since we may be heading up to civilization soonish. It would be an opportunity to hire that service. But apparently that's beefy magic.
6th level, it is.
I nod when he says that.
Is there like, I don't know, the Kmart special version?
I think Lizzie can cast that for you now.
Skylight.
Skylight.
Baby's first scrying.
Lesser Scry, yeah. It's a pop-up book version of Scry.
Who's Kane?
She is someone who is special to me. When I looked into the orb, I saw her in chains, and I thought she was dead. But her body still had scars that she did not have when we knew each other. So while the orb doesn't seem to know exactly what the future holds, as evidenced by Thag's demise, it seemed like it may peer into the present, but we don't know if that's the case. It's my understanding the spell may be able to clear that up for me.
Much as I'd imagine it could for many of what we saw, particularly Zakara. If I recall correctly, your brother was in immediate danger in yours?
Friend.
Friend.
But
For some reason, I thought brother. It's been a while.
Been a while.
although I still don't trust the vision, but even if it's true and it's happening right now, I'm weeks away. I can't do anything.
Yeah, there's that bit.
Well, if several people have someone they want to look in on, makes it hard. We could always gamble for it.
Out of character, when I did look into it, I felt that these were definitely not in the past, so it's either present or future, you told me.
It seems to have
But-
been
but-
fairly split on.
Was I certain that it was going to be, or just a possibility, like a shade of the future?
You're pretty sure it's definite.
Right, but
I believe is what I told.
yeah, I think you did. But I'm trying to come to term with, as they said, what Thag said for his vision, which would be weird unless we resurrect Thag somehow later.
Or Thag misinterpreted his vision.
True. He saw another ogre that looked very similar to himself.
All ogres look alike.
Right? Even other ogres.
Oh.
And they all know each other too, right?
Oh yeah.
Ogres are kind of like a hive mind.
Oh god.
Cell sums it up pretty nicely.
Alright, you guys are outside the caves, heading for your canoes. While you're talking. What's the plan?
Walking and talking. Well, I mean, regardless of the discussions, the plan is to return to the boat and get off this God's forsaken rock.
We can probably tie ropes from one canoe to the empty one that Thag was using.
Mhm.
Unless
We
unless
have
they
enough people to row all three.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we had enough
Yeah.
skilled people to row 'em.
Well, I mean, we're only down the dwarf, and he certainly was no athletic.
And he wasn't the athletic guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to make sure,
Got a little extra space now.
we're not bashing the third canoe on the rocks as we go. So, okay.
Got a bunch of extra space because it was him and his bear.
We'll just have them swim alongside the boats then. Okay, cool.
Nope, they pop into the character closet. So if you jump off the cliff, they jump off the cliff.
Nice.
So moving extra dimensional pocket.
Just a very large pet cache. That's all.
So we jump off the cliff. I slow fall everyone. Mystic falls and dies.
It'd be normal for a
Galgan
druid.
falls and dies, but Bernie survives because everyone likes him. And it was a small loss.
Meet your new character.
You can't talk ever. You're just a bear.
Do your best to just grin and bear it.
All right,
Exactly.
Lizik's off the boat. Yeah, let's start heading back. Set up a tow line to the third boat if it's even necessary. And
Nope.
let's get on out of here.
I can
much-
row the cargo boat.
Cargo boat.
Hallelujah.
Sakara can row the boat to shore.
How much time we got left in the day, Zargan?
You got most of the day because you guys you rested, got up. You've probably maybe spent maybe an hour and a half total.
Onward. We can
So you got
lazy
a
river.
good full 8 hour of travel.
We can lazy river this shit. Now we're going downstream instead of against upstream.
Right? Since the waterfall was pouring this way, sure.
All right, we're gonna fast travel down to the boat. Does anyone
Yeah.
want to do anything? Fast travel is not always enabled, but it is at the moment.
Did we want a golden monkey statue?
I mean, the only person who would have contested it is currently indisposed.
Well, and he had two friends that still stayed there too. How do you feel about getting another ogre?
That's also another week away.
This
Baguette.
is true.
And this is why I said you might make it to civilization.
We've discussed the possibility of just living here, Zargan.
I don't think you have discussed that.
I think
No,
it
no,
has been
we
brought
have.
up, yeah. But much as it's tempting and tantalizing, I'm personally hoping to get back to civilization as soon as possible, so
I
we
don't
can
think it's
check
going
in on
anywhere.
that too. I mean, what's it gonna do? Get up and just swim away?
Yep.
I very much like to look into the visions we all saw, see if any of them hold any merit, and we certainly can't do it here, bar one-time use. It may or may not tell us something.
Since it's gonna take us multiple days to get back, right?
Yep, it's 5.5 days down the river to the ship.
The return trip's always more tolerable. You know you're going
And then
home.
you have the ship ride home.
Do we have to worry about rations, or just assuming we're okay?
No, you guys have enough.
I had like
You might need to share some, but
I had like another 14.
yep,
I sure as hell can't carry it all. Well, I probably could. Just
it's
the
in the
rations.
canoe.
But yeah, it's all in the boat.
I would give the pearl another try or two just to make sure it doesn't have a long reset period.
That as well. Every night.
Every night you are disappointed.
Fuck. Piece of shit, Pearl.
You
Throw
tried.
it away. You don't need it, right?
It's certainly not making the decision to hand it over any harder to make.
We can't hand that. We can't get the pearl. We may hurt the clam.
Do we just hand it to Anders and see if what he sees? And be like, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna see some shit. Just after.
I bet he already fucking knows.
Toss it to him and cast detect thoughts at the same time.
You don't have that spell.
I like the idea of handing it to him and be like, oh, by the way, after he touched it.
You guys are evil.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, evil
That's the
campaign.
fucking point.
Look, I'm not here to discuss your weird ass moral obligations and qualifications. Science demands answers.
You should
Have-
swallow.
Okay, Dr. Mangala.
Every person who looks at that shit can help us ascertain whether or not this thing's talking about the future or the present.
20 gold, I'll touch it.
Wow.
That's all it takes, just 20 gold.
I'm a hoe, what can I say?
All right, Glesick, pay the man. We got a long boat ride back. We'll see if his curiosity gets the better of him.
Waterboard him on the way back.
What are we gonna
Hey.
waterboard him with? The ocean?
Yeah, why not?
Hey,
Yeah.
I roped him and pushed him off.
I hear saltwater's even worse than that shit.
Have
To make him
we
float.
decided what we want to do with the scroll?
I vote for keep it until Valis can learn it. And then you can cast it as often as you want.
My long-term mind is to agree with that. My short-term curiosity is like I really want to know some answers too. So I'm at odds with myself.
I would like to use it now.
If we do use it ahead of time, would it be better to use it once we're closer back to shore?
Oh, actually, you reminded me. But yeah, go ahead and answer her question first. But I have one after. Don't let me forget.
No one really knows.
Mm,
No one has this spell. I mean, Valis can cast it, but he doesn't know. I mean, you know roughly what it can do, but he does not know if there's a range limitation on it or not.
shit, that's kind of related to my question. I was gonna ask Valis if there's conditions, caveats, like can you just, snap your fingers and you're going to see who you want to see, or is there hurdles to get over?
There are definitely hurdles.
Descriptions to give Valis and his interpretation could muddle it, kind of thing. Like, draw a picture of somebody he wants, but I know in 5th edition that's still only gonna give a slight modifier for not actually knowing the person.
You can choose a target either by name or by touching something it owned. If you
Okay.
have something that it owned, the DC is of course lower.
What if two people have the same name?
I think intent is 90% of the spell here.
Then
Scrying
I
John
roll a
Smith.
D20, and if I get a 21 or higher, you get the one you want.
Uh, when I said closer to shore, it wasn't so much the range, more. I mean, knowing now that something's happening isn't going to make the boat go faster.
That's an important part as well. My vision in particular could be something that was happening the next morning. And even if I found out that it was indeed coming true and they're on the road going to wherever they're going, it's not going to let us go any faster. And I know that's particularly difficult for Zakara to consider given the nature of what she saw. Galgrim, I don't get two fucks about. I mean, he's obviously not getting eaten by a werewolf yet, or whatever the hell is going on in there.
It was a
Demon.
Gru.
They were
He turned
he's
his
really
light. He
fucked.
turned his light off.
Oh no.
I don't want to use the scroll for myself. Either what I saw is happening, and that would be horrible, or what I saw isn't happening, and it's, I don't know.
I'll abstain on the vote unless there's a tie, because I really could go either way.
I'm biased, so I'm gonna abstain.
Well, but
I mean, a
why are you
bias.
biased? It's going to benefit you the most.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm biased. So I'm gonna
I mean,
abstain.
it's still a viable objection to using it right away. Like, it's still something to consider, because later down the road, you're investing now for the ability to do this shit whatever the
Well,
hell you want later.
and if it's uncommon, it's really hard to find. So you may never get a chance at that spell again if we use it now.
I mean, I'm abstaining because I really could swing either way.
We've heard that about Gnome.
Hey,
Empathetic plea.
Oh no.
I don't even know if she's supposed to be alive or not. I thought she was dead, and this vision has shown me something that I didn't think was possible.
is there a? I'm proficient in Arcana. Is there a sending equivalent spell in this setting?
Yeah, it's called Sending, level 5.
Okay, I don't fucking know if these spells exist. I'm not going through the fucking book and researching every little spell and ruin it for myself. That's what this Arcana skill's for. Ruins it for me.
Yeah, you know there are spells that you can send messages.
Oh, but it's 5th rank too, huh?
Yep.
Oh, damn it.
So slightly cheaper and
Level
probably
9.
Slightly cheaper.
because there is something on Kruger's side to be said too. Even if we go to Hildford or whatever, we have to find somebody who knows the spell, willing to sell their spell slot for the day. I mean, best case, because spell scrolls are going to be expensive no matter what. But somebody who can just cast the spell every day probably could work a better deal. But you got to find somebody like that first.
Probably.
That's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Well, they
I
tend to double as the level goes up.
would definitely also somewhere in the ballpark of 75 instead. Because ascending could accomplish the same thing, especially, if she's not dead, you could send the spell to her, she could respond to the recipient. And assuming everybody fucking making sure this asshole wouldn't be lying to our face. As
So-
well as that, regardless of what we choose on the scroll, I would want to wait until we got back to the boat and see if Anders knows anyone with his connections that could possibly do this as well. I
Have
mean,
you considered that Anders might be able to cast the spell?
that too. I mean, we don't really know what the guy's capable of, but he sent us after two things that are many people would really like to get their hands on if they're
Well, and arcane stuff too
yeah.
that he's asked for.
So at the very least, I think he knows a contact who is very much into this sort of thing and could probably do that sort of thing. And worst case scenario, even if he's a freaking, magic mundane lug nut, he might know somebody he could write a letter or two, or, say, hey, they owe me a favor. Can you do them a solid?
Charge them double. Got it.
Charge them double. I mean, Anders is the kind of folk who probably has some connections. You don't really get to that position, even in a backwater like that, without knowing a guy or two somewhere. noble of a small town still a noble, right?
Yeah.
And he's no like hillbilly like noble either. Dude had like fucking small
He
little
owns
fleet
a
of
couple
boats.
ships.
Yeah. I think he might know a guy and it's probably working through him to have us do these jobs. So there could be a lead there. Again, just playing freaking Asmodeus' advocate here.
Help me, Asmodeus. Help me.
We're making deals with demons again.
I mean, some people make deals with Maul. I mean, that's low hanging fruit, man. You got to go for the big guy.
Hey, sometimes, you go with whatever customer walks in the door. I'm just saying. Gonna say no,
Again, this is why I abstain unless there is a tie. I guess she has a much more valid vote one direction than the other.
What are we voting on?
Whether to use the scroll of scrying or not right now, or have Ishi learn it later.
Much.
Because it's, like 11th level later, because it's an uncommon spell that
So
we normally don't find.
You won't be able to just pick it up later. You'll have to find a scroll like this.
And
Well, find it or find someone who has it that's willing to trade or sell.
right, and the reason people wanted to try and use it now was to check on visions from the Black Pearl.
I have no care one way or the other.
Another abstainer.
I mean, I have no skin in the game. Vision was of me dying, so I have no reason to scry on myself.
Well, you gotta find out if it's happened yet or not.
Well, it's Kruger who wants to check in on somebody to see whether it's a present or a future event.
Oh,
like
well,
that,
that's for the hold the spell then. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I mean, I gave a really, at least I
I'm
think, a really good
abstaining, though.
reason why I abstained. You gave like a fucking 3-word thing.
Well, I have no skin.
He's
Like,
racist
that
against
doesn't
orcs.
affect me. They're both good options. But neither one of them's better than the other.
So right now our votes are 1 for keep, which is me, and then 2 for use immediately.
Huh?
I'll use at some point before we get back.
Let's at least reconvene the subject after we talk to Anders. There could be an opportunity for us to work something out there anyway. Much like Zakara said, regardless of what we find out, we're stuck on this boat until we get back and can't do a damn thing about what we may see one way or the other than just having peace of mind or not.
I would like to see Anders' reaction to the pearl.
I definitely have a morbid curiosity on that.
Yeah.
Are we okay with at least tabling the decision till after we talk to our employer?
That would be my
Yep.
yeah, that'd be what I push for at the moment.
I'm asking just because it seems important to the folks that want to use it. Are you okay with waiting a little bit?
It's definitely an important subject to be sure. I just don't know if it's a hard choice.
I can't force Valis to use it, so I guess I don't have much choice.
You could force him,
Not
but
Just grab the back of his head. Read!
Reed probably wouldn't
Reed,
combine
fucker,
well
Reed.
with very precise spell casting.
Rasmus he's just shoving his face into the skull.
If the group votes on using it, I'll use it for you. That way you don't have to make a roll.
Kruger just gives you an appreciative nod.
Well, let's get to the boat and see if maybe fucking Anders is like a closet cleric or something. Who knows? We'll have a whole boat ride back to make the final decision when we have a bit more information.
God, of
He is.
furniture. He literally is a closet player.
Closet cleric.
If he is, you should have come with us.
All right, so nothing else you want to discuss or do during the river ride, right?
Dwarf just apparates in one of the boats.
Ah, ah,
I've
Wait,
seen
wait,
scuttle
things.
it! Scuttle it!
All of a sudden, the third boat appears out of nowhere with both the bears in it.
Well, we had the third boat. Question now is, where did you appear?
We split the party up a
Wow.
bit. He swam up while we were having lunch. You guys
He comes back in the cave. Guys,
I swim up in shark form. You see a fin come out of the ground, out from the back, and then it goes under, and then it comes back up, and there's a
Alright,
bear
boys,
riding on its
you
back.
ready?
Kill it.
Fireball in 5.
Out of the land, huh?
Fin comes
Those
up out of the
damn
ground.
Land
Impressive.
sharks.
I didn't know you could turn to a
Land shark?
bullet.
Haven't you ever seen
Yeah.
Tremors?
Mm-hmm.
Bullet.
I love
Grab
that
it.
fucking music movie. Why did I say music? What's wrong with me? Am I retarded?
First
Tremors the
movie.
musical.
First movie, pretty good. Okay, even. The rest of them got weird real quick.
There was only one movie.
No, there was a fucking
No.
follow-up.
No,
Yeah.
There's
no.
like 4.
I
It's
know
like-
you're trying to deny the presence
Do
and
not go
existence of
against
it.
the historical revisionism. Just go with it, damn it.
It's like
Ass
Starship
blasters.
Troopers. There's tons. They're
All right,
awesome.
guys, you spend your 5.5 days traveling down the river in the canoes. Relatively calm travel. You guys chat a little bit, talk about the scrying scroll a little bit. Can't really come to a big decision. Decide to wait to talk, maybe speak with Anders, get his input on your deal. And the 5.5 days go by pretty quick. Weather varies between decent to shitty as normal for you guys that out here. But you do make it back to the ship in one piece without any other entanglements.
Those freaking dragonflies learned their lesson.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting mauled by mosquitoes since we got here.
I'm gonna
They must
go ahead
like
and
your
mark
blood.
off some-
Mosquitoes can't penetrate Kruger's AC.
I know. I've been bribing them.
You bastard.
Human blood is sweeter. Go for that guy.
They don't like the cold of Nanul. He's probably the safest to not get bit by the mosquitoes.
All right, you guys make it back to the boat. They kind of lower the ropes down. You guys climb up, bring up all your shit. And there's pretty much no way they can take those boats with them.
But they came when we came
Yeah.
this way.
Just tow 'em.
Correct. That's because they last them to the deck for this short trip. They're not traveling 3 weeks with boats last to the deck.
I think Zargan's saying we're not going back to the village to return them.
But
I mean, return them. You guys bought them.
we paid
know.
money for these.
You're more than welcome to stay in them and row your way home.
I believe this is what many consider a post-negotiation.
I'm thinking.
Recompensation.
Now there's no ogre on the ship, so there's more room.
Fair point.
Just
So
whatever
I
space
guess-
the ogre was taking up, just put them in the pile over there.
They actually weigh less.
I'm not bothered by the canoes too much.
Yeah, they're not that expensive. But I would like to hold them and then let them sink so nobody else can play with them.
That's fine. You can sink your canoe.
I'll scuttle the canoes with a fireball if we're gonna do that then.
Target practice.
While they play with the boats, I'll go, and whoever else is interested, go track down Anders wherever the hell he's been freaking living his high
Oh, when
life.
you guys started getting close, when he was up on the deck when you guys got to the ship.
Right. We'll get down to business then, while they fucking throw fire at canoes.
Oh no, I wanna be there for the conversation, so I'll hold off on that. I'll blow up the canoes later.
Throwing fire on the canoes takes a whole whopping 5 seconds, Ishi.
Yeah, but you can't do it when the canoes are right next to the boat.
Explosions are
And that's
loud.
what you think. Can or shouldn't? Can't or
Go
shouldn't?
for it.
Fair point, but that's also our ride home. Otherwise, we have to learn how to speak cannibal.
I mean,
Someone should make a boat out of steel.
the ogre,
That'd be
wanted-
cool.
the ogre wanted to slit your throat while you slept. Let's get the rest of this crew in on that boat.
Boat out of steel. How the hell is that going to float, dude? It's going to sink to the bottom immediately.
Maybe.
Gonna have some
But
cyanide.
this boat's pretty heavy.
Why don't you just make the boat out of stone? Bah, and I walk away laughing. No concept of understanding that.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you have to make it out of ice. Ice floats.
Now,
Everyone knows that.
now you got my attention. Iceberg. Oh, you know.
Everyone knows about that stupid British super carrier project thing, right? It was made out of ice. Like this
Amazing.
big fucking carrier thing they were gonna try and build.
I watched a
Nice.
YouTube video about that recently, actually.
Ice is cheap.
Yep.
Probably not
All
well
right.
standard
As
in
they're
London.
getting the ship ready to leave, Anders takes you guys down to his cabin. It's a tight fit with all of you. Thankfully, Thag's not there because it would be you all couldn't fit.
Alright, let's be honest.
Noxia is happy to see you guys. She runs over and gives Glizzig a big hug and a kiss.
And rips her throat out.
Hey, baby, give me some sugar.
She gives you all the sugar you want right there on the deck.
Nice.
I did not miss this.
Nice. Hey, we gotta make an army, don't we?
Anybody else want blindness cast on them? I'm going to do it to myself here in a second.
How about deafness too?
There are some rare moments where you can be glad and appreciate a low perception.
Looks at my perception score. Fuck.
I was in a tent with them. I've seen things.
All right, you guys go downstairs into the main cabin. Anders offers you, there's like a tray there with some drinks and stuff on it, a little bit of small finger food, some breads, hard breads, some dried fruit, stuff like that.
Good shit compared to what we've had.
Well, yeah. He sits
Some
down on
better
his
shit.
desk and kind of waits a minute or two for you guys to grab a drink and any kind of little snacks you want. A very anxious look on his face.
So,
Did you get it?
we did. Quite the venture to find it, I might say. I'll grab for the bag and start open the bag and start rummaging around in it. Take out one slightly large viper and place it on the side.
Not without loss of precious life either. You notice the ogre's no longer with us.
Expendable.
I cry every time.
I croy.
It's Valis, you have to give me time. I'm not ogre it yet.
Ah.
Oh god.
Sorry, I gotta have to reuse it. They hadn't heard it yet.
That joke smelled.
The joke with the war cry.
A little oniony.
It
I'll give
definitely
a-
had layers.
Hmm.
I'll give a brief, general, broad stroke, bullet points of where we went, what we found, the things that were guarding it, the fucking tank of sharks.
Do you
of all
mention
things.
anything about the danger in gold caves?
No, that's not relevant.
Okay.
Only related to this actual orb, the cannibal village that we, made friends with, and
Hmm.
fun things like that. And I will take out the wrapped up orb, place it on the desk while unwrapping it, and let him take a peek. Is this...
Hey, you do that. He kind of leans in, kind of looks at it. It's everything I thought it was. Everything I've heard.
Oh, it's certainly an interesting piece.
Yeah. Definitely worth the money. He opens up a drawer in his seat, in his I won't say seat chest, but his sea desk, pulls out a bag, kind of fits it over it. You notice he completely avoids touching it.
He knows that it does something.
And kind of, slides it in there, kind of jerks the bag a little bit so it rolls into the bag, picks it up, his little drawstring and tight, picks it up, then goes,
While
definitely worth it.
while he's doing that, very busying himself with going out of his way to not touch that shit, can I pull something out of my coat, just like a little flask, take a shake a little something in there, take a swig. I want to quick alchemy something.
Okay.
Let's go with shit. All right,
This is how the party took over a boat.
This is
Yar har Tibbity.
Animate the boat, you say? Challenge accepted.
Phony you
Force
had a
cage
force
the
cage.
boat, you say?
I'm gonna target my.
Call me Luther Harkon.
Phallus. Don't force cage the boat.
No.
Just gotta
We
find
have
it.
fixed
There it
boat,
is.
right?
I'm gonna quick alchemy and just take a swig of a silver tongue mutagen.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, if you were planning on doing this the whole time, you wouldn't necessarily have to quick alchemy because you could already have them made for the day.
It is true. If we were coming
This
back
is
in
several days
several
later.
days later, yeah, then I would probably do that. Let's go with that one. High up on
All
my list
fails or crit fails. Got it.
on fucking recall knowledge on Arcana crafting lore occultism society. But I cannot crit fail diplomacy, intimidation, performance, and all that shit that you actually take this thing for. And get a +1 bonus. I don't think, because I think that's item bonus, so that won't stack with the diplomat's badge.
Probably not.
I just wanted to get a little safety there. Although, now that I've
Little
reminded myself that thing exists, because I just got it, let me take a peek at that real quick. Because this dude a human, and last I checked, that's a type of humanoid.
It is.
You heard wrong.
You heard wrong. Attempt once per day as one action. Attempt a DC 20 check to recall knowledge about people of a human ethnicity or non-human ancestry, or some other type of creature. And if it is successful, the badge's bonus increases to +2 instead of +1 for the rest of the day with that particular group. So whatever Anders' ethnicity, like regional ethnicity is,
Okay.
since humans have like dozens of them.
We are Legion.
Now it says a DC 20 check to recall knowledge, but it doesn't say what kind of recall knowledge it is. This be like society, or not society, fucking
Recall
would
knowledge
be-
about
Yeah,
the
society.
race.
It would be society
Lore
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah, let's go with that one. I'm good at that one.
because it's about a people, so
I think that's over 20.
a little bit.
Okay, so the diplomat's badge. I don't know if there's like an option or a toggle to switch it to a +2, or if we
There's-
just basically give
Modifier?
myself a +1. Yeah.
Just remember that you have a +1, another +1.
Right. I'll just give my. There we go. Okay. So I'll take a quick swig of that while he's putting that away, and.
Yep.
And as he's kind of tucking it. So, all that aside, I think we'll go ahead and conclude business here on that end. I assume you have payment here or back at.
It is back in town.
All right, I assumed as much. I had a curiosity, though.
Sure.
This is a particularly interesting piece, as you've mentioned. On the second item of such curiosity you've sent us after. And if you don't mind me
Second.
trying.
You mean the book?
The book,
That's
indeed.
not much. I knew the fellow who wanted to pay money for it, so that was just a business transaction.
I don't suppose this is the same contact who was interested in this one.
As a matter of fact, it is not.
We find ourselves in need soon of practitioned arcane folk. Point
He kind
towards
of looks at several of you guys.
seasoned, very much. Our wizard here is very much intrigued in expanding his knowledge and horizons, and someone with an interest in something like that, nod towards the desk. Seems like the sort who might be educated in that sort of thing. I don't suppose there's any potential for an introduction.
I'm pretty sure I can arrange that.
Excellent. I don't want to pry too much into your client, but I would imagine that he is seasoned in the arcane sort of thing to have such an interest in that. We're looking for a particular set of skills, and we're not sure if your client is of that set.
I'm not really sure where his skill set lies in.
Not
Those are sort of questions that I just don't normally ask.
nothing of a flamboyant spell type, then.
I am not sure. If not, I'm sure there's someone in town, or he may even know someone that you've been able to fill your needs. Depends on what your exact needs are, of course. Whether it's arcane, divine, so forth.
Getting our foot in the door would certainly be a nice way to hit the scene, as it were. We'd very much appreciate an introduction of sorts. If he can't help us, I'm sure he will know someone who can.
Most likely.
Or they, more accurately, since we don't even know who it is.
Well, he's been calling him. He's been calling the person a he. So
Is that their name? He?
He.
no.
It's he woman.
Was there anything else someone wanted to bring up to this while I got his attention? I actually expected a little pushback on asking to meet the client, but he was all for it, so
Did you try and do make an impression on him? Just get him like more helpful?
I think we did originally, and I think he's shifted that way already. I don't know if that's something you could just do every single time you meet somebody.
No, so I think it's only the first.
So, I can't help but notice that you are rather reverent with it, being very careful not to touch it. I can say we shared that caution at first, especially when we were initially retrieving it.
Did it do anything? I tend to, for these items that I procure for other people, I tend to play on the side of safety. I'm not a adventurer type of person. I don't have vast, powerful magics at my disposal.
Man,
So I tend to err on the side of caution.
it gave glimpses, some sort of divination based prediction, occultic reading, perhaps. Just caught a few of us by surprise when we were retrieving it from its. God, what was the word I was looking for? 'Cause I don't want to say retrieving it from the clamp, but it's holding.
Interesting.
It seemed
Perhaps
relatively.
that's why he wants it.
It seemed relatively harmless in of itself. Just a glimpse, a vision of something varied. I was curious of whether or not you knew of that particular quality, but at the very
Was it the
least,
same glimpse for all of you?
different based on life experiences, people you knew, something different for everyone.
Ah,
It seemed like a once in a lifetime experience.
Very much so.
interesting. But I'm not sure you could pay me enough to actually try it myself.
Looks at Valis.
He looks at Valis. Yep. Glizik, who used up all the charges.
I need money.
Some other people are like, oh yeah, 20 gold, I'll do it.
I need money. I'm sorry.
Some people's natural curiosity gets the better of them. Look at the
Yeah,
cat
the
folk
more you
and
have,
know,
the
but-
more you got to lose. So after a
What,
point,
curiosity?
you get to no
Oh,
worldly possession. If you don't have any other questions, I'm gonna go back up on deck and make sure we get moving. We got a long sail ahead of us.
Well, let's just hope all the drama is behind us. We can leave
the
this
drama.
island alone for a while, yeah?
Yeah, I have no desire to come back.
Certainly
We got what we came for.
definitely kicked a hornet's nest down there with that cannibal tribe. But I don't think there'll be too much trouble.
Unless they invent boats, we're fine.
Yeah, right? Unless they
Well,
discover sailing real quick.
Yeah, I mean they have their canoes, but they can't really leave too far from shore. The waves will just, swamp them. Alright, he kind of gets up and motions you guys out.
There was nothing anybody else wanted to, right? Just making sure everyone gets an
I'm
opportunity
assuming
to
not.
speak up.
Nope.
Okay.
Good.
You guys kind of head back up out to your rooms or up on deck, wherever you would like. He, locks his door and heads up on deck and starts yelling orders. The ship is already moving away, so
Yelling orders like a third-party contractor who thinks he's got too much pull.
I was figuring to be like, ham and cheese on rye.
He did
Give me
hire
some
him, so-
ravioli.
Some ravioli.
Yelling orders.
not sure that's how that works.
He leans over. I don't know anything about seeing.
He's a merchant. He knows something about sea.
He's also more of an open book than I gave him credit for. God damn.
Anything else you guys would like to do on the way home? I'm gonna do it in like a couple days at a time.
Noxia.
Well, I figured that.
Oh yeah.
There's a sock on our hammock.
I've seen things and it's horrifying.
Yep, there's a sock on your hammock, and you guys are both in Valis's hammock.
Why is it all oh!
Join us, Valis.
You like undead things? Just think of it as ectoplasm.
I don't like them like that.
Nasty. All right, that day goes by without any events.
I would
Next
like
day.
to.
Yep.
I would like to discuss the scroll again.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Discuss how. The next day or that evening?
probably that evening. Yeah,
Yeah, that evening.
so
Okay.
we don't keep people waiting in suspense. Yeah, it seems like Anders has no talent in and of himself, and the people he knows, he doesn't know a lot about. So
Nah,
Let's
he
do-
almost seems. I don't want to say he's a dandy because he's not bougie enough for that.
he doesn't
But
know
he's
enough to be
definitely-
a dandy.
Yeah, he's definitely a someone who's well off and he knows his limitations and he's not willing to risk. I mean, he'll do some risk, as in his risk is hiring you guys. You go risk your lives. He doesn't do that. He's in it for the money. He expects to be well paid.
In it for the I mean, we are
So am
champions.
I.
So yeah, that in mind, it seems like we can secure some sort of introduction with his client, who will better know somebody, because nobody just fucking says, "Oh, hey, this black obscure pearl in random fucking island in the middle of the ocean." Oh yeah, just I'd like to, just have that for my collection. Somebody knows something, and that means somebody knows some arcane shit.
Somewhere must know something about the pearl. He says he tries to be careful, but he touched the book we gave him.
No, he didn't
That's just a
understand.
book.
He didn't understand what he was holding there. If
I
there's
have a
anything.
spell book that burns me if I touch it.
Not all books created equal.
Not by a long shot.
I didn't even understand what we were holding, and that's like in my field of study. I still don't even know if it was anything actually legit.
How complicated was it?
Well, imagine you're in grade school, maybe perhaps learning the basic of a cantrip, and that outclasses you by a few decades.
I'm gonna say it's either insane babblings or legit.
Typically what it is, either someone's incomprehensible notes that led to their demise by mixing the wrong things, or they're onto something and somebody knows it. Too advanced to tell, or too crazy to tell. One of the two. I intend to follow up. Nothing so crazy. Yet.
Don't worry, we'll create our cities at one point.
Being a collector of a certain subject is no strange thing.
That's how sages are born.
Well, now that Solmar has the pearl and has put it away for safekeeping, I don't think we'll get a round of test subjects like we were hoping for.
A little too on the careful side. No sense of adventure or curiosity. Humans are so bland on it.
Rude.
Present company definitely not excluded.
About using the scrying scroll, I would like to change my vote to use it for Kruga.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you're
good.
gonna get some poetry tonight.
That's why she said that.
It's definitely time to, cast our official votes, because we got nothing but time on this boat now.
Kruga, She found the lusty Argonian maid.
Tusk Love. He's got a collection under there.
They
I'm
just
Alright.
keep
still
sticking together though.
I'm still hesitant to use it for myself. I don't know if I want to know the outcome, but if someone else wants to, it would be a good way to verify, especially when the person is supposed to be dead.
Well, that's Sun. Or Sun. That's Megan's vote.
Valis likes dead people, right? He should vote yes.
I believe he
We're
likes
just gonna-
undead people.
I think we're just gonna go up down the list here. What about you, Glizzik?
Did the familiars get votes in the bear and everything?
No,
Probably not.
only real people. So the dwarf doesn't either.
Now you may exchange your vote for Nanul, but since we all both know who wears the pants in that relationship.
Me. He doesn't wear pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, it's unnerving that he doesn't wear pants. I still think we should keep it for long-term stuff so we can all make a use of it rather than once and then everybody else is kind of screwed and doesn't find out about their stuff.
Okay. Kruger, I think I already know the answer to on this one.
Use the scroll.
Then Galgrim.
I think it's a greater benefit for us to keep it as a long term.
And that will bring us to Valis himself.
Who says we're going to be together long term?
Kruger asking
Even if
big questions.
even at that, it's more useful as Valis to use it to give it towards Valis for him to learn later, even if we're not together long term.
The point is made. He cast his vote. Just for the sake of not getting caught up in another, 40-minute discussion on it. Valis.
You missed the first one.
He did miss the first one.
I did miss the first one.
I think I'm far too biased for this. Because I'm always going to go for the keep more magic and more power.
I mean, the fact that you have a strong bias means you have a vote.
Does Noxia get a
No.
racist?
She does, but she has to vote whatever I tell her.
You remember that
Goblin
Goblin
Society.
is a matriarchal society, right?
Nope.
Snow goblins are especially.
Nope. Don't remember that.
She's a green goblin, though.
Well, that's 3 for saving it, and 2 for using it. And even if I were to vote for using it, we'd have a tie.
Then you can flip a dwarf.
Flip it.
You're still allowed to
If he
vote.
Call beard or ass.
if he lands on the boat,
You can't
Kruger
tell which one's which if I
wins.
pull my pants down.
it
if he
looks
lands
like
on the
both.
boat, you keep it. If he lands in the water, Kruger wins.
What if he's got a hairy bottom? Does it count as both?
So in the best case, in terms of use, we'd have a tie.
I'd still be interested in your vote.
So if we don't use it now and give it to Valis, is that part of his share of the loot then?
It's a fairly expensive item, so I'd say yes.
Sounds fair. It's a
Yeah.
relatively rare score. Well, not rare, but you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, if we used it right now, it would come out of whoever's share of loot then, going by that, right?
See no reason why it wouldn't count against divvying up the treasure, as it were.
In the future, if somebody wants to get an item and have someone else in the party use it for them, that sounds totally fair, you know?
I don't know if there's going to be a costly component to using that spell in the first place, but I think it's Valis is going to have a cost down the road if it's anything like 5e, where you need a fucking crystal ball or some bullshit like that. But okay, that's a decision he'll have to consciously make. But in regards to counting it for his loot, yeah, I mean, it sounds
Since
fair.
it should definitely count as loot. Since it's loot.
I mean, he's not the only one who could use it either, so it's not even a matter of, well, nobody else can even put this to use situation.
Could also just sell it.
That's
Good.
true as well.
Or we could even use it as barter fodder with our wizard friend that we're turning the orb into.
We're not turning it
We-
into anyone other than the guy we just turned it into.
Well, yeah, but aren't we going with for the drop off to meet the dude that paid him to do it?
He's
No.
willing to advocate or intermediate an introduction, but that doesn't. He doesn't even know what the dude who hired him is even all about. Could just be a collector who can't even cast a cantrip.
Well, but something that powerful might be worth something to him.
That's why I was advocating that we meet with the dude, and then we can ascertain whether or not he knows what he's talking about, or if he knows somebody who knows what they're talking about. I mean, Anders doesn't know. Either way, there's no point in prying him to meet a wizard when he doesn't know a wizard.
All I was saying is it could be a barter chip as well as a sell chip as well as everything else that we've talked about.
Yeah, things to consider, but for the time being, it's going to sit in the bag for the time being because not even Valis can put it to use, other than just using it. Though, we're not back at civilization yet. There's no point in chatting on that one yet. Though I would probably, point people towards the party loot and see if there's anything in there that they may be wanting to not. If there's anything you don't want to like sell off or keep or anything of the sort, because that's going to be coming up soon, is cleaning out the bags when we get back.
And what happens once we get back? Are we staying together?
I had Glizzik and I have had a short discussion on that then.
Short. Nice one.
Because the short people discuss it, no one else pays attention.
What, I wasn't paying attention.
It sounds like many of us are heading, at least from what I've ascertained, towards somewhere where we can actually get something done. Hire scrolls purchase scrolls to scry or services, things of that end, things to look into, and that all require a population. Hildford, to the north, not that far, northeast. Glizzik and I were having a short discussion, and it seems like this group is more or less fairly competent at pulling off these odd jobs and are somewhat lucrative in their own right. Certainly better than scavenging for coin at a tavern or healing the wounds of someone out of pocket change, really. We had an idea to set up a shop of some kind. Maybe not literal, but, set down stakes up in Hildford. Operate out of there for a while, a large town such as that. There's always going to be work to be had, and if I remember correctly, Zargan, the population is scattered and not scattered, but diverse enough that no one in this group particularly stands out just for existing. Like obviously,
I
you
wouldn't
put
say
you
that.
put
The
Glizzik
Goblin
in,
in New York would.
like if you put the
And
fucking monstrous races up in the fucking Diamond District, obviously, but
the Eastern Realms are much more, what's the right word? Tolerant of other races than like the Kingdom of Aerdi is.
racist assholes.
That's mostly a 99% human population, and they're a bunch of racist bastards in general. Now, I'm not saying those people, some of the people aren't over in the Eastern Realms as well,
No, I mean, yeah.
but the odds of the Goblin, the Catfolk, and the Orc being allowed in the gates are pretty good there. Other places you've been, no, they probably wouldn't even be allowed in for different reasons, but.
So in the grand scheme, you might be able to walk down the street without being accosted and even let in the first place, which means we'd be able to function, unlike to the south. Something to consider. Glizzik's own particular skills and my own would give us a business front at the very least that I intend to leverage. You make potions, I'll make elixirs. And we can find work easily enough, I'm sure. And I know there's someone in that city somewhere that'll be able to help us look into what we're curious in finding out. So, that's what we've been discussing. And as good a time as any to bring the rest of you in on that, now that we have all the time in the world to consider it.
I'm willing to stay. I find it hard to come across work, much less people who are willing to work with me and for the money that we have received. Everyone here is competent enough in their own right, mostly. Avoids looking at Galgrim.
And the gnome avoids the bulk of the stairs for being a guy who doesn't know how to fight.
Well, I think we all bring different skills to the table. You know what I mean? It's not everything is about combat. Sometimes talking actually works.
It'll be nice to get back into an environment where I'd feel a bit more in my element for sure.
A brothel?
Perish the thought. Too low key.
Uh,
Need upscale.
A high class brothel.
High class brothel.
It's a brotherful.
Yeah.
Brotherful.
you could just see fucking Klizik plug walking in the brothel.
It's not a brothel, it's a stewful.
Give me your finest horse.
Can't even go over the top of the counter. Look at who said that?
I'm coming up with a little list of things that I'd like folks to kind of peek into if we find ourselves all going up to Hilfer. Some things that many of us are interested in finding out in, and other things that we would need to do to set up, as it were. Boring things that some of you may not be interested in dealing with, but have to be dealt with, that I'll likely deal with, perhaps with Valis and maybe Zakara's help in that end.
Well, I do think we work well most of the time as a group. But regardless of what everyone decides, I need to go to Hildfor. That's where my vision will lead me.
Convenient.
Did anyone else see something that was nearby that you could identify? So you might be able to hit as well.
My vision has the two involved heading north. If they will eventually have to pass Hilfer, I'm just not aware if they've done so or not already, given the nature of the visions. Something
Just
I also
so,
intend to look in.
okay,
What's that?
Bio. I just want to make sure people saw what I put in chat. That you guys know after the first day or so that's where the ship is gonna put in. It's not going back to Griefer. It's going to Hildfor.
Oh,
Huh.
And
extra
so
convenient.
everyone's going there at least to start. That's where the ship's going to port, and then from there you can go on your own if whatever you're doing.
Oh, well, that accelerates the chatting a bit. It's not even going to be a road trip. Uh, okay. Well, Bio's goal when we got there was to look into a place for us to kind of crash rather than just staying at a tavern the whole time. It's something I've been kind of chatting with Zargan on the side with.
We
Do
could
a
live
little,
above the shop, is what you're saying?
maybe, kind of. I forget what the name of that particular style of building is, but
Living above the shop.
living above the shop,
That's the name of the building, right?
Bob's Burgers.
Mm-hmm. That's the way it works.
But if not find something that's just for sale in general, then probably make an empty lot and do that shit ourselves if we could afford it. I have no doubt in my mind probably going to be some sort of a loan involved, which is why the people who give two shits about that sort of thing are probably going to be the ones involved in that end. But um I'm trying to think of something for everyone else to kind of look into while we're busy doing that.
Kuga's interested in hearing what the other two have to say before we get too far into shops and
Yes.
such.
I definitely want to hear, because yeah, the druid who is like fucking social anxiety to hell and back would be in the middle of a city. Not middle. No,
The druid will be finding somewhere to stay outside of the city and finding a way to communicate with you guys, because I physically cannot live inside a city. I
Well,
legitimately lose my druid powers if I become part of a society.
Well, the good news is I was intending to look for something on the kind of outskirts of town, a little bit more, slummy, low key, sure, but for what we are planning, it's probably better that way anyways, and that means you could just dip in whenever.
Does that mean you are staying with us then?
I
Is the weird uncle who just randomly walks into your house from time to time?
pretty much. I see no reason to not. Kruga and I have apparently things to work on so that we don't kill each other, but we haven't done that yet, so it seems fine.
Well, what is your deal anyway? I mean that in the best
I
of
don't know what his
sense.
deal is with me. I
No,
have
no,
no
no.
issues
I
with
don't.
him.
I don't mean that in the fucking you and him freaking bare knuckle brawl, bromancing it up. No, I mean like, what? What are you like doing? What are you aiming to do? Just wander? Are you a
I
hermit? Are
have
you looking to
been
do
I
something?
have been hermiting and wandering for a very long time. I kind of just bounce from job to make ends meet and do whatever catches my fancy. I don't have a goal or a anywhere I'm going at the moment, or any giant roadmap that is of any importance.
That
I kind of just go with the flow.
would drive me absolutely bananas to not have something to work towards.
And
I shunned society long ago. I just do my thing.
And what of you, wizard?
Oh, you cast a scribe on it?
Is that all that beholds you to us?
Most of you seem fairly competent. They get along pretty well with Glazek.
Yeah, you're just sticking with me because of all the goblin juice I sprayed all over you.
No. No.
With my cooking, I mean. My cooking.
Okay.
I think the implication is, are you aiming for anything, Valis, or are you two just wandering aimlessly?
I have my own plans. But I prefer to keep that a little more hush-hush and personal for the moment.
Respect that.
You're not going to resurrect a dead god or something, are you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm not dead yet.
I'm gonna stare.
If so, blink
There was
twice.
definitely a joking aspect to it for sure. I mean, the track record of people pulling that off is pretty low. I'm going to be honest. I'm not really worried about that sort of thing. They know. How did he find out? You read my drink journal.
I have to kill them all and swim back to shore.
The most important spell isn't going to be learning scrying. It's going to be modify memory now.
Well,
That means we
if
have to off Valis at some point. That's not a problem. Out of
If-
character.
if we are all sticking together, then I changed my mind on the scroll. Items should go to who finds the most use for them. If we're to be together, it makes no sense allowing money to weaken us. Strength is everything in this world.
Strength is everything, and knowledge is power. Ergo, scroll is power. Full circle.
I'm not wrong.
Kruga eats it. I mean, that's how Glizzik seems to get Nanul powerful.
Yep.
He's just waiting until Nanul's big and fat, and then he's going to eat Nanul.
I slowly push it in like the sausage into his mouth.
Does
Roll it up.
he still have those coins in him too?
Right?
You don't know, do you?
I'm not reaching in to find out.
It's like a piggy bank.
Damn right you won't. He'll
It's like
bite
he holds your 401k funds.
You just use like a lion, you put the head in the lion just to slowly open the jaw really extra wide, then stick your head in, look around, and then shake it out. Ta-da!
Well, then when we arrive to Hildford, anyone who's interested in pursuing that end, I'll go and do the boring job of finding us some land to use.
I can also help with the shop. I'm rather good at making things.
If we are going to stay as a group, we should have a name.
Yes, we should.
No great force goes unnamed. People should tremble when they hear us.
Kruger's clown.
At the very least, it makes introductions at formal events a lot more formal to be introduced rather than just be like, hey, some assholes from off the street showed up.
Ah, yes, Kruger, thinking of the formal events.
Somebody's got to.
Kruger with a
As
top
long as
hat.
we don't choose Victoria's Secret again, I'm good.
Okay.
Get that to work a tux. Maybe a monocle.
Top.
I will get him into the Diamond District.
Put down the red.
Getting him in is not going to be the problem. It's keeping him in there.
Yeah, I've really got athletics. I can climb that fucking wall, no problem.
We
No, I
had,
meant legit get him in.
we had talked about trying to put together an army at some point, and I'm thinking if we do a name for the group, that should be something that we can use for that as well too. So it's not too specific, you know.
I've got a fancy version and a common version of an idea.
Oh, let's hear.
Mostly
we've all
because I've been
kind of
looking through this
struggling.
inventory and I actually just had a freaking idea. Goldthorn Brotherhood. This fucking Golden Rose won't get the hell out. I can't find a way to get rid of this thing.
You have to do a druid ritual.
I don't want to summon armies of plants to us.
For those who give two shits about the wordplay, it combines the things that seem to be one way or another keeping this group together. The gold, the thorn being the strength, and the brotherhood being the binding agent. And then the fancy name being actually
Mystic, have you seen the yellow sign, Freeport? The
Fuck
Brotherhood,
you.
huh?
Fuck you, Naughty.
Hey, I didn't come up with it. I just said I'm completely.
I know.
How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, good question.
Braithriticus Dalegaor. Obviously, it would be shorthanded when you're trying to talk in polite conversation.
I like the Golden Thorn.
It's the
It's
same
easier
thing.
to pronounce.
It's the same thing in two different languages. One is fancier, though, for fancy occasions.
I think the Golden Thorn is better. Adding Brotherhood just makes it a mouthful. A shorter phrase makes it seem stronger.
That does make it Dracorga instead. On the fancy side. And work with me. Accomplishes the same things.
One short, Cult of the Rose.
Cult of the Rose.
Kruger's gonna go around singing "Kiss by the Rose."
You just get tattoos on your head. Oh wait.
Actually, Noxia can sing it while he's going around punching people.
Well,
By the way, good
every
news.
rose
Good
has
news,
a
depending on.
stone.
Good news for Noxia, depending on how she looks at it. Position just opened up in our NPC tag along.
Mhm.
Yay.
These minions are so hard to keep.
I mean, and the last time she came with us, she just about died too. So we have a bad track record so far.
If she lives, she's obviously the chosen one.
Well, she did Leroy Jenkins, the frilled lizard that we
Yeah.
found at the pit too.
And if we're lucky, maybe she learned
Not
half a
by
lesson out of
choice.
that. I'd be fine with the Golden Thorn. It's simple to the point, still conveys the same thing, and still sounds fancy to all the fancy people that give two shits about that sort of thing.
I'm
I
fine
don't
with it.
like it.
You could even keep the whole name and just shorten it for occasions.
Yeah, things like like groups with the longer names are always referred to by a shorter moniker anyway. Let's be honest, the street name is always the one that becomes the real name. All right, sounds like we've got a general consensus there. Golden Thorn.
Is that just a golden thorn, not anything else?
Yep, we'll go with that for the time being.
You're not the golden thorns or nothing, just golden thorn.
Like the Mighty Nine.
Golden
need-
thorn is kind of singular. That's why I'm asking.
Yes, we're a single group.
That's none of their
One thorn.
goddamn business. It's our business, literally.
This is the fucking Foxhounds bullshit all over again.
Towing the line with the golden sausage and the golden thorn right now.
In gold paint, Glizik.
Gold
Mhm.
and sausages.
Mhm.
The golden sausage.
All right, gold thorn.
If it makes you feel any better, Zargan, there's your fancy in a different language title. Goldthorpe.
So what language is that?
I'd have figured if anyone in this group would understand it, it would have been you, Valis. It's Matzir.
Quickly checks no.
Sun up here giving the uniform already, huh? Apply directly to the head. Not that head.
It may be permanent. You're not going to be able to take this off once we jam it on there.
Oh no.
That's why people are very lax to try and infiltrate our group.
You have to grow a gold thorn out of your head,
Uh
kind of
huh.
like a narwhal. The golden narwhals. There.
When we get a ship, that's its name, the Golden Narwhal.
Gold Horn Thornborn. Horn Thornborn. Bjorn.
All right. Anything else you guys wish to discuss this evening?
I think we've discussed a lot. We got a general plan, a general vibe. I'm still jotting down some things that we might chat about in a little bit, but I need to get it on paper. Quote, or asterisk, paper.
Organize your thoughts.
Yeah.
Silly gnome. All right. You guys head off to bed. Glizik and Noxia head off to bed.
The squeaking. The horrible squeaking.
The night passes. That was day 1 of the boat. Anyone has anything for day 2?
How many days approximately is it going to take us to get back?
21.
21 days. Not at the moment. I'll get back to the group when I
All
got
right. Day 2 going once. Day 2 going twice. Gone.
Just for flavor,
I knew it.
Kruga is going to be basically for the rest of the trip, unless something else comes up. He's just going to be up on the deck meditating.
Up in front with your arms spread out. just like the Titan.
Wait,
I mean, sometimes he'll be balancing like on the rails, holding like some sort of pose.
one addendum, Naughty. Bombs, balms, and beyond.
Yes.
That's how I was trying to get the and more for the other stuff right away.
All right. Day 2 goes by. Day 3. Day 3 goes by.
Wait. It's like a fast bidding war.
It
It's a
Okay,
fast boating war.
so that was day 3, you said?
And welcome
Okay.
to day 3.
I'm going to go over to where Kruga is meditating and kind of just sit to the side, trying to get his attention, but not wanting to interrupt.
Was Kruka meditating most of the time just because he has spent a lot of time out in the wilderness? His eyes are open, so he's like aware of what's going on around him. So if you kind of sit down and try and get his attention, he'll notice.
Okay. Yeah. She'll sit down for a few minutes and then start fidgeting.
You don't seem to have a lot of patience.
What makes you say that?
You move a lot. Is this something that is normal amongst your people?
I've always thought of myself as normal, somewhat. I can be patient for things that matter.
Of the butt wiggle variety.
He just nods a little. I am not normal. My kind likely would not be able to sit and compose themselves the way I do normally.
Well, that seems to be your strong suit in battle.
Some may seem differently. I know other orcs I've run into seem to scoff at the way I compose myself. Most of them now lay dead.
And the armor's for the rest of them, right?
If they're willing to submit to someone stronger than them. Otherwise, they will follow the suit of many before them.
Can't really argue with that.
So what brings you up here? You seem to have something on your mind.
I know we've talked amongst ourselves about it. The visions. And you said you thought Kane was dead.
Even seeing that vision, I don't know how she'd be alive.
I thought Ferris was dead too. I'm afraid to believe he's not.
Hope is a powerful and often ugly thing that we find ourselves a part of. I saw Kane on a day much like that stormy day on the way out here. I was up on the riggings of a boat and trying to pull the sails up so they weren't shredded in that terror. And I saw the man, Russo, plunge a knife into into her stomach, slash it open, and throw her overboard. This was 2 years ago or more since I last saw her before she plunged into waters not unlike these.
I'm sorry.
The one who will truly be sorrow is Russo when I find him again.
He still lives.
To my knowledge. But rest assured, when I find him again, I will quickly rectify the mistake of this world.
Well, if you need any help with it, I'd be more than happy to.
He just kind of nods solemnly. And what of your friend?
I didn't see it happen, but everyone in the street saw it. They saw him die.
He'll kind
And
of like put his hand up. Don't relive that pain. Tell me something you remember about him fondly.
she'll kind of reach under her armor and take a pendant out and just start rubbing it. Well, he was even more curious and impulsive than me. He would do crazy things that should have killed him many times over, but never did. Didn't really let anything bother him.
Well, if these visions are to be believed, it would seem that death does not bother him either.
I don't know if it's true vision. That means that he's about to die anyway. And if it's not, it means I might have left him for dead without knowing it.
There isn't much that you can do about what you do not know. Like you said, there's not much that we can do on this boat, even if that scroll were to be used right now. But I do extend the same offer to you that you extended to me. If you need any help finding your friend, what is his name again?
Ferris.
Ferris. If you need help finding Ferris, I will help you as well. You have proven yourself a true comrade, and I aim to do the same.
Thank you for that. If he's tangled up in anything inhaled for, I think I'll need all the help I can get. And Zakara will kind of just go over to the side of the ship and lean there and watch the water for a bit.
And Krug will just take a deep breath and close his eyes and just sit for a while. He won't say anything else.
Alrighty. Anyone else on day 3 have any?
Nope. Still compiling my notes.
Okay, doke. Alright, day 3 goes by. Day 4. Anyone on day 4? Going once. Going twice. Day 4 is gone.
Wait a minute. I'm joking.
What?
I'm joking.
I'll
Go.
kill you.
I'll kill you.
Listen here, Barnacle Boy.
We'll just keel
About-
haul him.
About 3 in the middle of the night on day 4 or day 5, whichever way you want to look at it, there's a loud scream on the deck. And the bell is rung. The bell for all hands on deck, which includes you guys. You quickly kind of grab your shit, your weapons, your whatever your normal combat gear is, wipe the sleep out of your eyes, and run up on deck. The moon is up high in the sky. It's a nice clear night. It's not a full moon, but it's probably, I don't know what the right term is. It's probably at least half or 2/3 moon, so there's a lot of light. A lantern or two on the ship is also lit. And stuck on the main mast, as you come running up there, you see like the sailors, like more coming up as well, kind of forming like a half circle on the deck, staring at the mast. On the mast, maybe 3 or 4 feet high, is Noxia.
Hey, baby. Is everything okay?
As you come up on deck, You can smell the odor of voided bowels and death fills your nostrils. Noxie appears to be attached to the mast, and her
No.
gut is sliced open, entrails dangling from her in the wind. Cut into her chest, visible, is a skull and crescent moon symbol, and blood drips down from her slit throat. Her eyes are still open as if staring into the sky.
So treat wounds is not going to help.
What the fuck? Was
Create wounds? No. She has all the wounds that she needs.
No, treat wounds, I said, is not going to help.
Oh, treat wounds? No.
Is way beyond lesser potion of elixir of life.
I'm pretty sure at this point there's nothing an elixir's gonna do. Now you see that right there, the entrail. That's your problem.
See, Glizzy puts his face in his hands and kind of turns away, and is just quiet.
Said she had something carved into her, into the front of her forehead.
Yes.
Oh, it says
Hold
right
on.
there, Therp chest.
In her chest is a skull and crescent moon symbol.
I don't suppose that might be ring a bell to someone.
Can I do a
like a
recall
society
knowledge?
gossip lore, maybe?
Can I do lore heraldry on that?
What is Glizzik doing? How does he look? How is he reacting? Naughty's being awfully
I
quiet.
threw a picture into the news channel.
Perhaps you didn't hear me, Mystic. I said I put my face in my hands and turned around, so I'm looking like I'm crying.
Okay.
Looking like
Looking like.
Sometimes it really is just crying. You got to look like you're crying to
Maybe
actually
you could
cry. You
try
know?
and talk to the dude if you're interested.
How high up is she?
About 3 or 4 feet. Is that
3 or 4 feet up.
Okay.
Forever high. That's what
it's
you're
too high
asking.
for us short people.
Can you at least unpin her and bring her down?
Can
Yeah.
I go over and I'm gonna go over and check in on Glizzik. And also do I see Nanul anywhere?
Oh, jeez.
No.
Oh God, he did it.
Oh no.
He actually did it. The bad lad.
But you
He's
don't.
not
I
right for
mean,
you.
Nanul's usually not around anyway.
Actually, can I just look around to see if other crew members look surprised, or if any of them?
They look very surprised. Some of them are kind of like half sick to themselves. Anders comes up and he looks pissed. He starts yelling for the men on watch.
Yeah, that's kind of my question too. Is how does a fucking goblin get nailed to the mast in front of everybody?
Well, I'm gonna go up and what's she pinned with?
You look, you kind of get in there, you got to get your hands in there. How physical are you going to be with her?
I mean, I'm not looking to like rip her apart or anything, but I'm gonna look for the thing that's like sticking her in there.
You don't really see it, but there seems to be 3 of them. They're like large nails. They look vaguely familiar.
I have a couple of things I want to do
And
we get around to it.
While you're up there, like real close, Kruger, you look down, and on her one like little belt pouch is open, and inside you see a gold nugget.
We didn't give her any nuggets, as far as I know. I mean, we were supposed to pay her, but I don't think we gave her anything yet. Sorry, I'm crying. Don't mind me.
Nanul got her.
I'll reach in and I will. Can I pull the pins out?
You'd have to like reach almost like, because they're in there pretty well. You'd have to like push your fingers like into her chest and pull them out. But it'll be an athletics check.
Kruger has no problem doing that.
I didn't think you would. I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were doing. Go ahead and roll me athletics.
Was there any response on Valis and I possibly identifying that heraldry?
Both of you go ahead and roll me whatever you were gonna roll in the tower.
Gossip it is.
Would that be a society?
You could try. Unless you have something else you want to.
Society's better, but I feel gossip is more appropriate.
Huh.
Which might matter, apparently, in Pathfinder. The right skill check tends to have a lower
Well,
DC.
a lot of skill checks will work, but they have different difficulties.
Yeah.
Actually, can I do lore underworld?
Sure.
Glizzic.
I'm just joking. Like we had talked about making a snuff film, but not like this.
I
Oh, that's
told
why I
you
was
to
doing it in
set a
chat, since
safe word.
they're just going back and forth doing it. I think we could do our thing in chat.
Yeah, but I want to like actually get some emotion into it.
All right, good.
Okay.
The man's woman, like freaking girlfriend. I
Hey,
think
hey,
died.
whoa, hey!
You're
don't
making a
put
lot of
name on it.
assumptions.
No! Don't put a name on that. Come on,
His booty call.
closer.
Well, I mean, I know you're trying to disassociate yourself now, but in a very delicate time to help cope. But you know,
It's always the boyfriend that did it.
it's on the Newell, definitely.
Hey, if anybody, I'm very suspicious of that butler with the bacon. I'm just saying.
The one that wasn't here.
If you know, hey, was he or was he
Oh,
not? He works for Anders.
Okay,
Hmm.
it's that symbol again.
I just popped it. I thought I had it in Fantasy Grounds, but I couldn't find it right away. So now I found it. So Glizzic, Galgrim.
That boy really needs to see a dentist. That toot's getting away
Oh,
from him.
Hey, Glizzic, you okay?
Sargon, real quick. My mutagen is still affecting me. So,
How long does it last?
like 10 minutes, and that was 3 days ago. Or not even 10 minutes. It's like a minute-long one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
That's
think it.
fine. I'm not worried about the combat tracker at the moment.
Okay. I don't think it would have affected that particular lore skill unless it's all lore skills. I don't.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't do
it's all lore. It's all lore. Crafting lore occultism society. So whatever I rolled would be 2 higher.
Okay.
Sorry, continue.
No worries. So I kind of slowly look up between my fingers, taking my face out of my hands and look to you. I assume you're standing like to my side.
I kind of came up behind you and off to your side.
Another fucking minion dead. It's just, I'm angry. I'm angry because we keep adding people, then losing them.
I mean, it's what happens. It's the circle of life.
You're talking to a goblin.
Yes, the circle of life ends with you eviscerated to a mast.
It's just the
And
way.
tomorrow's
Well-
morning breakfast, like
Yeah.
Sorry,
wait.
I just got the visual.
Tonight's tragedy is
What-
this morning's breakfast.
Starts with
Listen, Drew.
baby.
What
Hey,
circle?
I have a negative society skill.
I know. I'm thinking of the circle. Starts with baby, adolescent, adults. You know, a partner, and then freaking nailed to a mast at the
Blood
end.
eagled on the mast of a ship.
Are you talking about like tossing the body in the ocean so that the fishes can eat her or something? Circle of life. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying that
Oh, he
loss
wants
is
to eat
part
her
of the
body.
cycle of life. We all will come to an end at some point. There's no need to be sad over the end.
Do you think
Missing
I'm sad?
missing.
You think I'm sad over that piece of shit nailed to the mast behind us? And I kind of thumb over my shoulder at her. I'm not sad about that. I'm just pissed we lost a servant or whatever you want to call her.
Oh well, if you're just mad about that, those can be replaced.
So far, we found 2. I had a whole cave of goblins. We got 1 out of that, and then we had the ogre that got killed as well too. How are we supposed to amass a following if they just keep getting killed off randomly throughout our adventures?
No, maybe we
We're-
need to do a better job protecting our minions.
There's no more of us now than when we started this crap. How am I supposed to, embrace my destiny, as Mom said, if this crap keeps happening and we keep losing people along the way? I mean, we almost lost your bear as well in the last fight. Just frustrating. And I'm going to stomp below decks.
I look. Hey, Raz.
I'm up there
That-
still
that-
waiting.
that- Raz.
Fucking greenies.
Raz.
Huh? What? Fucking.
That's your thing. That's he needs a person that can talk to him.
I turn on my heels and I point my thumb right in Galgrim's face. I am not a thing, and then I turn around and walk away again.
That's your thing. Gotta watch the phrasing there.
All
Yeah.
right, dice result. Valis, no idea. Zakara, you don't recall any underworld things that have a symbol like that. Raz, you're not sure, but you might be some sort of dark power. Maybe like some demon, devil, you're really not sure.
Fits the MO. Skulls, crescent moons.
And Kruga, you reach in there, kind of squish into her chest a little bit, pull out a baton. There's 3 of them total. If you want to pull them all 3 of them out, you can.
Yeah,
But
I will.
a baton.
Yeah, like, for like you hammer into rocks.
Oh, baton. I thought you said baton. I'm like, oh god.
No, baton.
Force.
With a P. With a P. A PP.
With a PP.
Do I recognize the batons at all? I thought
They
you
look
said
like-
something about recognizing them before.
Yeah, you know what they are. They look like
Oh,
standard
okay.
issue, batons from like a climbing kit or something.
Biochat.
It's a croissant.
Not
Okay,
in my
no,
head. Yeah.
I'm gonna set her down on the deck and I'll close her eyes for her. I do reach over into her bag and I pull out the gold nugget.
As you reach in there,
Yes.
you
Inflict
notice
wounds.
there's 2 gold nuggets, a caltrip, a loose dagger, and a couple other small items, almost like a collection of junk.
I
Steal one-
will
she
take the
steal one of
bag
my-
then.
She steal one of my caltrops.
He's been stealing from work.
Motherfucker.
I only got 98 more of those in the bag.
Did she have a dagger?
No, but as you kind of check, one of yours is missing.
What a little klepto.
Oh.
mean-
You're downstairs. Shut up.
Naughty is removed from puzzle.
You wanted to stomp off. You stomped off.
I stomp. I stub my toe on the way down the stairs.
Fuck.
when,
Ju-
oh, go ahead.
No, nothing. I'm good.
Whenever we get an opportunity to move her, I can see, perhaps find out what might have did her in. Some of them are obvious, but this got done in front of everyone up here. There might be something more to it.
Anders is over off to the side, reaming 2 of the crew members who are supposed to be on watch, and they're both piss drunk.
Well, mystery solved, huh?
Let's get
Drunk guy.
tortured again.
I kind of want to go up and punch one of them because I've done the same thing to Galgrim.
Is still making messages to Galgrim even in this.
He punches him and then uses the blood from his nose to write Galgrim on the floor.
Not up
Oh.
here, and I mean I can carry her. She's just a goblin.
Oh, thanks.
She's just a level.
She's just a little goblin.
She's a green goblin. Are you happy now?
She
Thank
was
you.
a level 4 bard, but not now.
But assuming that we can get her out of the open, her weaker constitutions might not appreciate it. I wouldn't be. I would be willing to do an autopsy, see if I can nail down what killed her, assassinated her.
Wow, nailed her down. Wow.
Too soon, man.
Like I said, some of it's obvious. Getting freaking nails shoved into the mast and having your freaking throat slit and guts open is one thing. But if there's some freaking force damage in there, then that's something else entirely.
I'm holding my tongue since I stomped away.
I'll pick her up and take her to wherever Raz wants.
Just somewhere out of line of sight, so the people throwing up on the deck don't throw up in our face.
Overboard.
No one threw up. They are seasoned sailors, but they were kind of looking a little queasy and really startled and shocked that this happened.
Who's still up here on the deck with us?
Oh, there's you guys minus Glizzik, unless he's
Bas-
sneaking down on the steps. Several crew members who are kind of like two new crew members are on watch. Anders is taking the other drunkards down below. So that's about it. They're letting you handle it since it's your minion.
If we pass by close enough to Zakara and Galgrim, can I just quietly just ask them to keep an eye on crew, see if anyone in particular? Because you said there's a couple of new folk,
On
like-
watch, yes.
not like brand spanking. We picked them up
Oh,
since
no.
we left the island somehow, kind of thing.
No.
Okay.
Hey, Zargan, can I
They're
do a perception to see if there was anybody that, like, kind of as a recall of the crowd to see if there was anybody that was less, I guess, shocked?
Someone's, just looking weird. Yeah, just basically asking you two to keep an eye out because you're a bit more perceptive.
Less
and, like,
aghast to the
Yeah,
situation?
go ahead and roll it in the tower.
And then, I'll have Kruga follow me somewhere where we can kind of layer out and where I got good light and see if I can find anything telling here.
After I drop Noxie off, I want to go like check my belongings and see if anything's missing out of like the things that she had, like the batons, for instance.
Yes, you are missing several.
Hmm.
In fact, you're missing I believe you used 1 or 2, but you are missing 3. 3 more than you remember using. Raz, when he checks, he will also find that 2 of the gold nuggets from the party treasure is gone.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm aware that stuff's missing because Kruga hasn't pointed it out yet, and I'm
No, I'm
certainly
just
not
saying
going to
when.
notice. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'll come back in. I'll bring it to Raz's attention. These batons, and I'm holding like the still bloodied batons in my hand. It's like I'm fairly certain these were mine. And I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of this was from us, because I don't think Anders or his crew would have gotten any gold nuggets while they were waiting for us.
And near as I know, no one else has a bag of caltrops, right? Just me.
Hey, Zakara.
Well, time to purge the crew.
Uh,
Yeah.
You want to come over here with me for a second? No, kind of like walk over towards the edge of the deck, like away from everybody else.
Sure.
Splash.
You saw it, didn't you? I was like, push.
It was
The
his
impo-
athletics. That shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, right? My athletics versus Zakara, more likely I'm going to go in the water.
Galgrim was the imposter.
He just pushes her
Fuck.
over Barony.
Okay, guys, we got to vote somebody off this boat. Somebody's the imposter.
Ah, damn, I can't fucking. Okay, ignore that. I'll have a list of things I want to do. Just
Hey, Zakara.
Oh, one of the diamonds, damn.
Yep.
I saw there was a crewmate that didn't seem as disturbed by the body as the rest. Did you see that as well?
Which direction?
I'll point out which crewmate it was, Sargon.
He's not on deck. He's back down below.
Well, but she's also fairly perceptive, so I'll this crewmate and kind of give a general description.
You think his name was Hank?
Okay, I'll give her that. I think his name was Hank, and he looked like this, kind of.
Did I notice anything?
No, you did not. You were pretty taken by the by the scene.
Unfortunately, while I can turn into an insect and would be able to be a great scout, I can only do that for a minute. You're more stealthy than I am. Think you could keep an eye on him?
I think so.
I will, if you kind of focus on that, I will kind of keep looking around to see if there's other things that got missed. I think the two of us are the most perceptive of the group.
If only I could see in the dark.
It's almost as if you know.
Um,
It's almost,
hey, luckily I happened to
don't have-
prepare. No, I didn't fucking prepare that today because I didn't think I'd.
I wonder if you know an alchemist that might be able to whip one up on the spot or something.
Do we know that you can do that?
Just,
I don't think you've told us you can do that.
Do what? Whip shit up on the spot?
Whip dark vision specifically up.
oh,
Like
he
the po-
did.
Like the potions she's actually taken before.
Oh, okay.
It may have been before Galgrim's time, but I've given her dark vision potions before.
I'm guessing while we're on the ship, Raz isn't doing his usual divvying up of potions every day.
I divvy up at least healing ones. I might keep all the rest of them on myself until shit happens, but there's no reason why someone can't at least have, a boo-boo fixer on them at all times.
Don't trip on a slick deck.
Yeah, if you cut yourself on a rusty nail, nice to have a quick fix.
Oh, too
Can't
soon.
do it. Can't do anything on the can't do anything for the tetanus. Well, I can, but not in potion form. Or actually I can on that end too.
Cure disease.
Go see your doctor.
Well, let me stop by Raz. He might have something that could help.
Okay. I'm gonna go poke around the boat a little bit.
So Raz and Kruger are downstairs. Glizzik stomped off down below decks, and the other two are up top. Zakar and Galgrim, and Valis.
Once I get done moving Noxia's body and telling Raz, I'm gonna take the bag and I'm gonna go see Glizzik.
I'm gonna go see Glizzik's holding up.
Okay, the two you kind of go off, over by like where your I don't want to say bunks. You don't have actual bunk where your hammocks are. And as you approach, most of the crews have gone back to bed. Mostly fallen asleep because they're used to kind of waking up and then they're quick sleepers. You move up and you hear. I'm not gonna make you roll because you both have decent perceptions. You hear a faint like sniffling and like a faint sobbing as you approach Glizzik's bunk, his hammock.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Kruger's just gonna walk up and he's just gonna put a comparatively large hand onto like Glizz's back.
An entire ham.
His ham hand.
I like ham. If you touch me, I'll go still because I didn't realize somebody was there. I was too involved in myself and what I'm feeling. But if you touch me, I'll stop and kind of bristle a little bit. I'm fine.
You don't look fine.
Leave him alone. Says the little blue nunnel.
Is Raz kind of like in a not occupied space? Like it's more or less like just him in the body?
It's kind of open, yeah.
I figured we were kind of like in the common
There's
area.
there's not a lot of unoccupied space, but there are small areas of it.
Okay. Yeah, not super worried about it then. And I'll just say to Glizzik, her bag appears to have had some of our belongings in it.
So which one of you killed her over it?
I
mean,
didn't.
I didn't say you. I said which one of you guys killed her over it. I mean, the goblin obviously took some of your stuff and it made you offended, like always, and you just decided to offer. I mean, like, thanks for the comfort and all, but I guess I should just be used to that because that's what I have to deal with. It's my lot in life, right?
You think I would just kill someone who's useful to me?
Depends what they did.
This is petty theft. And I'm upset that somebody did it and it wasn't me or somebody else. Somebody took her from us. She was ours, and that is not their right.
Well, I guess I'll never get to, see my little kid, Nup, running and playing. But as to Nil, apparently she wasn't right for me. Kind of like shrugs his shoulders a little bit and pulls the blanket over himself a little more. But he's still turned facing away from where you guys are.
We can make whoever did this never see their children again.
Do what you
Or
want.
worse.
He's just like he's not really talking much. He's trying to, but can't really think of what to say.
I'll because best I know, they were probably in the same hammock together, right?
They had their own. Who? Noxia and Glizik?
Yeah.
They have their own hammocks, but unfortunately, several times you've seen them in the same hammock together.
One of them was
Unfortunately.
routinely cold at night.
I would believe that I would be top hammock and Valis would be bottom hammock. You know what I mean? Like bunk beds
Yep.
almost.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy.
And sometimes stuff drips through. Yep. Saliva or something.
I'm just gonna look. I'm assuming I don't actually see Nanul right now, or do I?
He's
Yeah,
there. He's
chat.
sitting on
Okay, I didn't know if he was just in the hat or whatever. Did you see anything, Nanul?
I was down here. Where were you?
That doesn't answer my question.
I saw nothing. I was snuggling under the hat, where I usually sleep. Where do you sleep?
Below Glizik,
And you,
unfortunately.
And you, human. We all know humans hate goblins.
Far too much blood.
Uh-huh.
She has saved our lives on a few occasions. I wouldn't do such a thing to someone who has done that for me. Is there any way to insight Nanul?
You
Villiers
can
have
a
stats.
perception check, but put it in a tower because he's
Yeah.
like an alien. It's not going to be.
Inciting the snow cone, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Grevel flat time.
He be an awesome poker face. You can't read him at all.
Okay. Regardless, I need to find out who has done this. It's unacceptable. If you think of anything that can help, or you need any help yourself, Glizik, let me know.
Me? I'm fine. She wasn't right for me anyway.
I'll take the bag, and I'm gonna leave everything in it that was in there, except I'm not putting the bloody batons in there, by the way. I'm keeping those with me.
Just nail the bag with batons to the wall.
But I will take the bag, and I'll just kind of lay it in the hammock with Glizik, and I'll walk off.
Okay.
I'll follow.
All right, Raz. What do you do?
Well, probably being a little invasive here. Autopsies rarely aren't. I'm going to try to find out if there's any sort of indication that there's more than just, bladed weapons, something mundane, which seems very unlikely to pull off even with drunk assholes around.
Okay.
I'm more curious to know if there's anything else, like maybe a poison that, killed her beforehand, or did the deed, or any sort of magical scarrings, force damage, things like that. Try to figure out the cause of death more than just being eviscerated.
All right, roll me that check.
Cause of death? COVID.
All right.
I still got the -2. That should be 2 higher.
You just have a really bad hangover.
Is there a way for me to get rid of my own buffs?
I have no idea. I don't see any buffs on you.
So 27 total.
All right, so you do examination. You don't have to do many. You don't do any cuts in that because she's opened up pretty
Pretty opened up,
good
yeah.
for you. You don't see any signs of any kind of drugs, poison, alcohol, nothing like that. Looks like you think she died when something cut her throat. Maybe a small bladed weapon. Knife, dagger, or
Right.
something like that.
A little bit larger and more intimidating on a small creature than most.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't take much on to cut someone's throat.
Okay. The scar that was cut into her, was it look
Yep.
like it was also done with a sharp weapon?
Yeah, same thing with her gut cut open.
Is that scar crude or very finely well marked? Is this like someone's quick cut of a very vague symbol to do it quickly, or is this something someone was able to sit down and do all the little details of the teeth?
Oh
and
no, it's fairly crude.
Okay.
At some point, I don't know how long this is taking him, but I wanted to go talk to him about a possible elixir.
Okay, you'll probably come down there when he's like halfway through this or towards the end.
Imagine it couldn't take any less than 10 minutes to see if anything's necrotized or withered and affected or
Nope.
damaged. So yeah, he probably caught me in the middle of it.
Yeah, so Zakara will walk in, see what you're doing, and immediately turn to face away from it. I had a question if you have a second.
Well, she's not going anywhere.
Here, hold this what's the spade in your hand.
I'll take one of the gloves off. Tell me you're not squeamish after what I've seen you do to people.
I don't like messy.
Well, someone did a lot of the work on that end for us. Being eviscerated tends to drain you of most of your fluids very quickly. You need something?
Yes. Galgerman and I might have a lead on a suspect. I wanted to know if you had any of those dark vision elixirs that I could use to watch them.
I could whip one up quickly enough. While I have you. If I'm not quite finished yet, I haven't dug as deep as I need to. But it seems most of the wounds here are done with a very precise weapon, a dagger or a short blade of some sort. I'm not seeing any signs thus of anything magical or poisonous or anything of the sort yet. So, at least for the time being, unless I find something else, and I'll let you know if I do, assume our little assailant is skilled with the blade and not much else so far. I'll grab some of my equipment there, grab a flask. Looks like it's already got something in it. A little bit of that goop. Take a little something out of a component pouch, grind it up in my hands, throw it in there, shake it up, and hand her a dark vision elixir.
Okay.
You'll need to drink that right away. It'll lose its potency very quickly to make it as quick as this.
I'll start chugging it.
Okay, you got dark vision for 10 minutes.
Oh,
It's the lesser version.
is this 1 minute?
10 minute, or it's
10.
a 10-minute version. Sorry. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
next
the
well-
one
level's-
you had bought before in town,
Was an
Zakara,
hour.
was an hour one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I need a next level. I think I could do the hour-long one.
Well, whoever did this must have been pretty skilled. Noxia wasn't a pushover.
Sturdier than an average goblin, at least most of whom I've seen of the crew wouldn't strike me as one who would be able to get the jump on someone who could at least take a hit from a large frilled lizard like she did. So I would be very careful. In fact, I'll have Nether kind of go over to her, and he's currently holding a Dracart, I believe. No, he is currently holding a mist. Fuck, what was he holding? Oh, he's holding an elixir of life. All right, that's good enough. In case the worst were to happen, Nether knows how to administer this.
Thank you. I should go before this wears off.
Indeed. Let me know if you need another one, because the one we're in travel, I'm using my society loadout where I've got like 3 spare reagent. Also, no, I don't have fucking fiery stuff on this boat, Zargan. I swapped out for, just in case it comes up, blight bombs.
That's
I'm not setting the boat on fire.
You won't have to. One of the wizards, one of the casters would.
Yeah, wait a
At
minute.
least
We
it
got-
won't be me.
We got your back, buddy.
I mean, with Kruger has his force cage, and everyone else has fireballs. So. All right. So, Kara, you going to find Hank?
Yep, I'm going to hunt for Hank.
All right,
His
roll me
last
a
name isn't
stealth in the
Hill, I'm
tower.
gonna be disappointed.
He's propane and propane accessories.
Hey, some of those things are sharp.
Oh, dang it, Bobby.
He sells
God
pain
damn
and
it,
pain
Bobby.
accessories.
I put the pain in propane.
All right, you move into the crew area where most of them. By the time it's probably been 10 minutes now since you are all kind of pulled up on deck. You get in there, definitely people in there snoring. Little extra cover noise for you. Takes you, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute to get in there and find who you think Galgrim was telling you about. He's on the bottom bunk, bottom hammock over against the wall, sleeping.
Gave her a fucking healing potion. I should have given her a fucking quicksilver to help with them stealth checks, but oh well.
Should have gave
Too
her a
late.
freaking acid flask, dump in the guy's mouth. I mean,
I definitely is a way to send a message.
This is for Noxia. No.
Drink it all up.
Hey, Zargan.
yeah.
Can I, while I'm kind of wandering around, can I go look for Anders?
He's probably in his cabin. Probably
He
sound
was
like
on deck. He was on deck before chewing out the people.
Yeah, but
Wait.
he took them all. Everyone left the
Yeah.
deck except for you guys.
Boy, everybody's so desensitized. Everyone's just going right back to sleep.
Well, that's over.
I mean, it
Except
is a
for-
goblin, so
Yeah,
It's not like an
He's-
actual
he's probably
person,
in
is
it.
he?
yeah, it's not like an actual sailor.
So sad.
he's probably
Anyway,
in his cat.
Okay, I'll go up and try
I
to get
mean,
his
they're
attention.
fair.
He can't have been asleep. He can't have fallen asleep already.
he's a killer on the
Maybe.
run, and everyone's like, eh.
All right, I'll get back to you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, Scar, what do you do?
I'm just taking a second. Does he look like he's asleep? I don't know if he's.
Yeah, he's snoring along with half the other crew members in here.
Okay. All right. I will look for his bag. That's probably near his hammock. And I kind of just want to take the bag out of the room so I can go through it.
Okay, roll me a thievery. Okay,
Wrong.
you gently, quietly lift it out of where he has this, like on a peg and stuff, and hold it close to you, and you go out of the room.
Okay, I'll go away from the sleeping people so I don't wake them up. And just go through it looking for anything bloody or anything with that symbol on it or something like that.
Okay, there's not a whole lot in there. You know, there's like a change of clothes, a couple copper coins, there's like there's an apple, and that's pieces of twine. That's about it. But nothing's bloody. No weapon. Nothing.
All right, I'll put everything back in as close to where I can remember it was and
Take a bite out of the apple and put it back in.
and put the bag back where I found it.
Okay.
I'll roll over the apple and put it back.
Fortitude check. Ah.
Anything else, Zakar?
There's not anything. There's no trails of blood.
No. Well, there's a little bit of a trail coming down the steps and led right to where Raz has the body.
Ah.
From when Kruger carried it down.
Okay. I guess just for the rest of the elixir, I'll just look around, see if, I don't know, if anything's hiding or if anything was stashed anywhere, like bloody clods or daggers or.
Okay, roll me perception in the tower. You spend the last few minutes of the potion looking around, like the crew chambers and that stuff. You don't see nothing like stashed. You do find a couple of small things stashed, but it's mostly like some food or you mean stuff like that. There's nothing bloody, no extra weapons, nothing.
Okay, then I'll head back up to the deck.
Okay.
Zargan, how hard would it be to put 3 batons into somebody in that quick a period of time?
Oh, not that hard if you had like a hammer or something.
While also eviscerating.
I mean,
them, slitting
flesh
their
is pretty
throat.
soft.
Because you said we heard the scream up on deck, right?
Yeah.
Which means she was still alive when she was up there.
Oh, it wasn't her scream
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
when someone found her.
The scream of discovery.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
He was totally quiet until the very end when she screamed.
Yep, throat slit, carved into her, chest opened, first 2 batons stuck in, third one, that's when she screamed.
As she
Yep.
got the bill for her internet service, and that's when the scream happened. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Galgrim, you go back to the main cabin, knock on the door. You hear kind of a, what is it?
Galgrim, just had a question for you. I was hoping to catch you before you fell back to sleep.
Hey, hold on. He kind of gets back out of bed and unlocks the door. What can I do for you?
I would, since all of the crew are under your care, what are our limits on questioning them about the incident?
What do you mean by questioning them? Did you
Well,
find something?
I saw a couple of curiosities in the crew while we were all gathered. I just wanted to know if I was allowed to go and question said individuals, or if you would like to be present, or if you want me to leave them be as they are your people.
I mean, you could question them, like
I'm
ask
not going to
questions
torture
freely,
them or do anything crazy. Just
but
go ask them questions.
I mean, you might want to wait till morning since they're probably all back asleep by now, unless they're on watch.
No, yeah, I'm not talking right immediately. I was just trying to get a feel of what you as the captain, how you would like us to handle them as they're your
Well,
crew.
if you want to speak with them, that's one thing. If you want to do anything more than that, I would need to be present, and you better have a damn good reason.
And that's valid. That's exactly what I was coming to ask about. Thank you.
Yep,
And have some great sleep.
I'm gonna try.
It's so awkward.
Shuts the door, locks it again, and crawls back into his bunk.
Someone being killed 10 feet away from him isn't a damn good reason enough. That's sus.
It's only a goblin.
Where are the
Yeah.
2 drunk guys at?
They are actually. Oh, where would he put them? He doesn't really have a cell on this ship.
And be tied to the mast that knocks your blood out on.
No. They're probably down in the cargo hold. They might be tied up, but yeah, because they don't really have they don't have like a jail cell or nothing like that.
I want to go to wherever they are.
Okay. They're down in the cargo hold. Like, there are some manacles and stuff down there, so they are like manacled up. I mean, not like, not bringing back memories of like your shipborne manacles, Kruga. Although you do have a little bit of a flashback from that. There's more room and stuff. They're, like they're on their arms, and there's probably 10 feet of chain and that, so they have room to move around and stuff. But
Are they asleep?
trying to be, yeah.
I want to kind
No,
of.
they are pretty much asleep because they pretty much passed out.
Yeah,
I
they're
wanna-
drunk. They're probably the first ones that were out.
I want to go up to them and I want to kind of smell them to see if they're actually drunk. Like, see if they actually have like that boozy scent
Oh,
about
they
them.
have like cheap shit liquor breath.
Imagine waking up to a large orc sniffing you.
And it smells very much like the alcohol that the ship has had, and they've given out like some rounds before for like one a day type of thing, kind of like rum and stuff. And looks like they got into the ship stores.
Oh, I can drink tonight.
Is this a normal occurrence on this ship,
What, people being shit faced drunk? No.
especially during watch?
You're usually asleep, but probably not. But I mean, I'm sure it's probably happened once or twice where somebody had a little too much to drink.
I'm gonna wake both of them up with a gentle, not so gentle, as in I won't do damage to them, slap.
What do you want? What do you want?
What you want?
Why were you drinking?
Why not? There's nothing out here. Boredom.
Literally an ocean of shit.
Obviously, they
Stomp on
go as
balls.
the new bard, and they get to fight to the death to see which one gets to be our new free bard.
Kruga the teetotaler does not like alcohol, apparently.
Like they're up against the wall, right?
Well, no, I mean they're leaning against it, like curled up against, because they somewhere. But yeah, they have slack.
I'm gonna punch the wall in between both of them.
You break the boat, you sink.
God damn it.
Force fist.
Force gate. Fists are force.
I cast fist.
Why did he put them down below decks?
And I'll just say, because of you two, one of my minions is dead.
It's just a dumb goblin. Who cares? There's hundreds
Which
of
one said
them.
that?
The one that said it.
Okay, I choke him. Like, I put my hand around his throat and I push him up against the wall. Like, I'm not choking him out, but like very threatening, obviously.
The other one's like, "Hey, leave him alone," and kind of tries to get up and come towards you and kind of like trips
He
on
gets
himself.
the other hand.
Hey!
Lucky I'm not doing fucking crushing grasp on these assholes.
Top 10 most brutal anime deaths incoming.
Did anybody bring you the drink or did you get it yourselves?
No, she brought it.
Who?
The goblin. We were drinking some.
You were drinking with the goblin.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Then she went downstairs to do her man or whatever she said. Nasty shit, but whatever. He's a goblin, she's a goblin. Who cares? I mean, even as drunk as I'm right now, I want to do either one of them. Now, maybe that cat woman you got, is she single?
I'm going to do.
Kill him, he's into furries.
I'm going to do non-lethal crushing grasp on both of them.
Before it spreads.
So both of them do 4 points of damage, whatever that means.
They are out cold. Between being mostly drunk, and I mean they could take that damage, but you pop them, they're just out.
I am going to go back to Glizik.
Black fur, soft. Purr for me, baby.
Little ball of fur.
Execute orders.
Smell
I should
like
send the
that
bear. I should send the
smelly
bear
cat.
over to cuddle with him.
The panda
I'm
bear.
not sure they would know the difference at this point.
Yeah, I'll go back to Glozig, but I feel like it should be someone else's turn at this point.
All right, who else has actions? You
I
got
don't
some
know.
admirers down in the cargo hold, Zakara.
Apparently, but looks like they'll be happy with Barony.
Well, I'm upstairs. The bear's like, well, I guess upstairs with me.
I was heading back upstairs after looking around. I don't know where we are in our little timeline.
Probably
I
running
mean,
into
it's
me
still
as
middle
I
of the
come.
night.
Yeah, probably running into me as I'm walking back downstairs from talking to the captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, found Hank, but he's asleep.
Already?
I guess so. Well, did most of the crew who got up had already gone to sleep, or was this not normal?
Oh no, almost everyone down in the crew quarters when you were in there were sleeping.
But anyone who had come up on deck who wasn't on watch was already back asleep.
Yes.
Well, the rest of them were asleep too. Everyone who was on deck.
That is shockingly fast.
Well, it's pretty late at night, isn't it, Zargan?
But it's like 2 in the morning and it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did you get up, go take a whiz, and then go back to bed? How fast did it take?
Not 10 minutes.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Usually people aren't being murdered when I'm doing it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also haven't worked in the hot sun for 8 hours. I mean, it's not uncommon.
Fireworks under
military
the
men, they get all
boiling
the sleep they
moonlight.
Not a single one of these people has sleep apnea. Got it.
Oh no, a lot of them are freaking snoring, but that don't mean you don't fall asleep.
Can confirm.
No, the last thing I have to do up here is actually look at the post and see if there's any dragon marks or anything like that. You're welcome to accompany me. I also have a proposition that you and I rotate our sleep schedules a little bit so that the two of us can be up and assisting with the watches at night.
Probably need more than 2 of us for that, but
Well, no. If we rotate sleep schedules and
Oh.
essentially both sleep during the day, then we both are up the entire night.
I could do that. Although, like I said, my vision is limited.
Was Raz able to come through for you?
Yes. Although his elixirs tend to last about 10 minutes. I said Hank was asleep, but I did take a peek in his bag. Nothing out of the ordinary, and I couldn't find anything else stashed away downstairs, although it was only a brief check.
Give me 1 second, I'm looking something up. If I can give you dark vision as well, but it only lasts for an hour. Maybe I will talk with potentially Raz Raz can see in the dark, right? No, he cannot.
Low light
Nice.
vision. I'm a gnome.
Low light vision like me.
Oh, you have low light. You can see up here then, on the deck.
How well lit is the deck at night? Pretty well lit.
I mean, it's not bright, but they do have some
I mean,
lantern.
moonlight. There should be moonlight too, right?
Some.
Which would count for low light vision.
It doesn't need to be a lot of illumination for low light to work. Just some, you know.
Yeah. In
Well,
theory,
maybe.
she should be able to see on deck just fine with low light vision. She wouldn't be able to see underneath, but
If it's only, yeah, if, as long as there's enough torchlight, I should be able to see.
I can prepare some dark vision for you, and then worst case, you can keep an eye out up here, and I can keep an eye out below deck.
We could do that.
I trust us a little bit more than I trust, well, the crew.
Well, seeing as how I'm fairly certain one of them did it, it's probably.
I am not fully convinced that there wasn't potentially some nefariousness from somebody, be it a crew member or somebody like Newell.
Not
It was
accepting
just Nick.
not accepting my suicide idea. That she crawled up there and nailed herself to the post,
That'd be impressive.
and then slit her own throat and disemboweled herself.
Shall we go over and check out the post
Sure.
while the scene is still fresh? Zargan, can we just look around and see if there's any? Is there a?
Other than a small puddle of blood and a little bit of dripping to where she was carried downstairs, there's really no sign.
There's no like drag marks, no like. So she probably got her throat slit there versus slit somewhere else and drug.
Soaking wet, she might weigh 30 pounds.
Well, yeah, but there'd be potentially blood drips coming from wherever she was.
Yeah, you don't see any.
Okay.
It's such a gruesome scene. It's hard to imagine that someone did all this without notice and got away without a spot on them.
It is rather impressive. I would not put it past any of our people to be able to do this, but somebody on the crew is a little worrisome that they were able to do this.
Yeah, even if the crew was drunk, it's on the main mast, right in plain sight.
Yep. Like I said, I would like to propose that you and I stay up through the evening and sleep during the day.
Okay, I've done night watches before.
I will prepare dark vision, in the evening when I wake up. And to make sure that in case you need to go downstairs, you will have ample vision.
I'd appreciate it.
Feel like I do not need to have fireball abilities on board a vessel.
Probably best for everyone.
Well, I mean, if we ran into pirates, hit their ship with it.
Yeah, we haven't really seen any other ships, have we?
No.
You are way outside the normal trade lane.
I'd like to spend just the rest of the, I guess, evening until everybody wakes up, Zargan, just kind of wander around the ship, keep an eye out.
All right.
But
What are you guys doing with the body?
Is there? I understand if I got to make a society roll. Is there something that's normal for Goblin society, specifically Snow Goblin, that
Well,
they
Cook 'em
she
do?
for
wasn't
dinner?
a snow goblin.
I
She
know.
was a-
I know. I'm aware.
Hey,
that is done post mortem for goblins that other goblins might actually give a shit about, as rare as that may be.
Go ahead and roll.
Whoops, I almost clicked survival. That'd have been a -1. Dirty 20.
You're horrible, Fable. No goblin by injection only.
Oh my.
Like the kind
You
of,
don't really know of any,
no,
Raz.
freaking how humans cremate each other to keep a
No,
urn of
usually
their
goblins
ashes
just leave
around.
I mean, something like depends. I mean, in the war and stuff, the goblins just let the bodies lie and rot. They didn't care. You might want. I mean, Glizzik might know of some if you wanted to ask him, but you really don't have much knowledge of goblin funeral rites.
It's a very ununderstood field.
Yeah,
Might not even exist.
Save the
it
meat.
might.
We have breakfast tomorrow.
Tonight's tragedy is tomorrow's breakfast.
All right.
Tomorrow's.
Once I'm done up in here, I will. Well, I mean, I'm the only one still in here at the moment. I know Kruger went to have a little conversation. with
I'm
Flick
not
a
sure
while
where
ago.
everyone's at. I think Krieg was going back to check on Glizzik. I'm not really sure where everyone's at, so you guys can decide where you're at, except for Glizzik. 'Cause I'm sure he's still in his hammock, not caring.
Not at all.
I went to wherever I did my wizard stuff previously.
Crow's Nest.
That way I'm giving Glizzik some space since he needs it.
So you guys going back to bed, or you staying up the rest of the night like Galgrim?
Is Glizzik like crying? Is he asleep? Like, what's going on?
Glizzik?
I'm not making a lot of noise, but I am kind of like shifting a little bit. I can hear you approach. Yes, you're not trying to be like overly.
Oh no.
It's Kruger.
I'd
So-
probably be showing up a little after Kruger as well.
My eyes open a little bit, but I'm looking away from you. So did you find who did it?
Not yet. I found out that, according to the drunk guards, Noxia was the one who brought them the alcohol.
Yeah.
Does it sound like something she would do?
Yeah. We've been drinking almost every night up on deck, watching the stars and stuff.
And drinking with the Humani?
Drinking with whoever. We drink with you guys. We drink with Valis. He's a human. Oof.
Just didn't know if it was out of the ordinary.
I don't know. I mean, there's some nights where, we get kind of frolicky on the deck and stuff, and, we don't want them all on top of us. So, giving them a bottle, whatever, we've only half drunk, probably doesn't seem out of line for her. They go their way, we go our way.
Enough to get them both sloppy drunk, though.
Yeah, it's not my fault if humies can't hold their liquor.
It's not liquor, right? It's the cheap shit you said.
It's the stuff they have on ship.
I mean,
You
we
said,
have
like, Raz was walking up at this point?
Yeah, probably shortly after you. Kind of poke my head in the door and see that you two are busy. I won't intrude if you guys are talking.
If I notice you approaching, I'll say, did you find anything?
No signs of anything magical. Whoever did it is quite skilled with a bladed weapon, because that's the only sign of damage I found on her.
I'm assuming it wasn't any of us. Did you guys find the crew that did it? I guess is what I was asking.
Still working on that.
When you do, can I be the one that takes care of it?
It is your right.
I would expect no difference.
And is Anders going to be okay with that?
He will be.
Any other clues that we don't know about or that I don't know about yet?
I'll ask Raz. Did she smell like alcohol?
When you're wrist deep in someone's innards, is that something you can pick up on, Zargan?
She definitely had been drinking. You can't tell how much. You don't have a blood toxicology.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to figure out just how drunk she was, but I'll relay. Yeah, she did have a scent of alcohol on her. Yes, it was there.
When you ask that question, Fable, I think no, she smelled like leather and cave moss, just internally.
Oh. Well, I am not much of an investigator myself, but I will do everything I can to find justice done.
Picturing the Sherlock Holmes hat come out
the
and the
Nothing.
trench coat.
Just on Kruga.
And a pipe.
pipe in between his tusks.
And don't forget the heroin.
No, but if he's Sherlock Holmes, you realize that makes you Dr. Watson.
We have nothing
You
but
sure
time.
orc home?
The
Sherlock-
only part Kruger can
Sherlock
do is
arms.
box people's ears and say discombobulate.
We have nothing but time on our trip back.
I will tell you that the drunkards will likely be of no more use to you tonight.
What'd you do?
They are sleeping off their hangover.
Hangover hasn't started yet.
The little assisted autoerotic asphyxiation for him.
It was very automatic.
Yeah, hit by the Kruger train. Kruger!
Want me to tell you about the little train that could?
Chugga,
Chug,
chugga,
chug,
chugga,
chug,
chugga.
I just realized that the other day.
All right, anything else for this evening?
Whenever they're done with their conversation, I'll hang back for a moment with Glizzik.
Kruger's probably just going to sit in the middle of where everyone's sleeping, and he's just going to stay up and kind of like keep a watch because he is not trusting of what's happening, and everyone went to sleep way sooner than they should have.
I'll come back from the wizard room in about like an hour or so.
You mean the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
The idea
Or
is
if I banish myself too.
He sleeps there.
the idea was passed around when Thag passed. And I believe Valis would be looking into it when we got back to the mainland. There may be a way to bring her back, supposedly. And if that is the case, I believe we would need to keep a piece of her. Is there something particularly culturally normal for you all to keep as memento for someone you cared of? A lock of hair, perhaps?
No. We tend to burn the bodies.
Well, I'll speak with Valis and see if he knows exactly what we may need to keep on hand if he wishes to pursue this. But if you had your choice, if you must pick something, if not at least just to keep until we are able to bring her back for you, what would you want to keep?
I'll think about it, but
I'll nod. I won't stick around much longer if he's obviously still distraught.
if as you're gonna start to, kind of walk away or whatever, my hand will reach out and grab your wrist and be like, just keep an eye out in case Anders is trying to tie up loose ends for us running his errand. Or trying to, trump us up on charges so that we can be arrested or whatever and then executed or something. I'm just We're just getting started as a group. I don't want to get screwed over on this job.
That is something.
There's no reason for her to get killed.
And an unusual time to strike when there's nowhere to go. There's something certainly fishy.
Whoever did it has to still be on the ship. And when I catch them, I'm sorry, but I gotta do what I gotta do.
I don't think you'll find any who would blame you. With that, I'll leave. I'll go
Yep.
see if I can track down Valis.
You'll probably run into me as I'm returning.
Didn't wash his hands.
And I
Coming
wasn't
out of-
Just wash my hands.
Just coming out of the kitchen with some bloody hands, maybe some rotten flesh hanging off here and there. He's just eating a pastrami sandwich.
Mm,
Valis, you have a moment.
yes.
Well, he was giving it some thought, and Glizix is a bit shook up over the situation. You had mentioned before it might be possible to bring folks back, a ritual you mentioned at one point or another. What are the details of this?
The ritual I have wouldn't do what you're looking to do.
I'm more interested in the one that does bring folks back, less
Ah.
less of the undead variety. I don't think that one would be much appreciated by the little guy.
I mean, she'd smell the same.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Mm,
This little ritual of resurrection thing. Basically, inquiring about that because we've talked about it before. Like after Thag freaking went and bit it.
I'll tell them what I know about it.
Mm,
Well, since you don't have the ritual,
we'd have to find
And
that first.
I would
right?
have heard of it at least, alright?
well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely magic that can bring people back from the dead. But as for like exact like what you need and stuff, you really don't know. Magic like that can be very, I don't know, particular. You might need a specific piece. You might need the whole body. You don't know.
She might come back more darkened and more unnatural.
Pet Cemetery.
I was saying practical magic too.
No, Pet Cemetery would be when Zakara comes back.
Kitty.
Zombie kitty.
Mm-hmm. Zombie
no
kitty.
zombie kitty.
You almost became zombie kitty.
I know. That was bad.
Well, in the meantime, until we can figure out more information on it, then we need to do something with the body eventually. Glizzik mentioned that they tend to just leave their dead where they drop, perhaps burn them is the best they can expect. Somehow I feel like that might be a little counterintuitive to a resurrection later down the road.
Do you have a chemical to preserve dead tissue?
I know there's a chemical to preserve food, but I don't think it works on bodies.
What is
No.
a body except food? Come on.
I know you were about to say something like that, but I'm pretty sure the preserving salts will not work on corpses. Nothing that would work on a full body. Oh, you think that's more in the realm of magic from what I've heard? Something on the more divine side, maybe?
Definitely not my area of expertise.
You don't store your material for later use.
They usually fall apart in combat.
Well, I suppose failing everything else, we'll see what Glizzik wishes to do then. But we'll give him the night to sleep it off. He may not admit it, certainly didn't to Galgrim up top, but I think it shook him more than he was willing to let on at first.
Just kind of nodding.
Valis is just thinking in the back of his head, this is gonna be the first quiet night I'll have in a while.
Probably.
Motivation.
It's only a goblin.
I'm gonna say that to Glizek.
It's- who has the motives?
They intend
If I was
they-
gonna offer, I would do it sooner.
they intend to figure out who did the deed, of course. So if you find yourselves needing something to do, then perhaps they could use a hand. Kruga is spirited in that regard. I'm just not sure if he has the skill set to heck out who might have done it without, well, probably upsetting the entire crew. I can't imagine that it would sit well with anybody. Galgrim and Zakata up top right now. Might peek in on them, fill them in on what
Yeah,
I
you guys
found.
haven't seen us come downstairs yet. Well, I
might
guess
peek-
you saw Zakara come downstairs. You haven't seen me at all.
I might peek up there, fill them in on what I had found, which, by the way, no signs of magic on the body. It seems like it was very methodical and seasoned, practiced blade work.
Should keep our eyes open for someone capable of doing such.
Magic is one thing. You can expect it when the words of power start being screamed and arms start flailing, but a dagger in the dark? Well. Anyway, I'm gonna head up top and fill in the others.
Nodding.
And I'll up to the top.
I'll go back to the Glizek Claire, see how my boy's holding up.
My boy, my gobble boy.
My boy.
My gobbo.
He's not a real.
He's a
I have
goblin.
no strings to tie me down. As you come over to, bunk or hammock, whichever we're using, I'll reach into the little bag and take out two little tiny, like would have been for like a bottle of wine or whatever. So it's cork, and it looks like somebody whittled it down a little bit. And I'll hand them to Valis and say, "She made you earplugs
Aww.
so you could sleep."
Aww.
And then just kind of roll back over and clutch the bag to my chest again.
Goblins aren't heartless. They just don't tend to live long enough to develop them.
I just was tired of him complaining about the noise.
Save
Well, then you
face.
should be quiet.
Just- it would be worse.
I'll head up
Alright.
top and fill in the other two, since I assume I'll find them up there. Let them know the
Conspiring.
result.
Yep.
Probably. The next small creature's going up on that mass now.
Hey, yeah.
That would be Glizek.
Valis, stay close to me, man. I'm too pretty to die.
I'm
Not
gonna
it
say
was-
wizard.
She was the smallest.
Yeah, I will. I'll fill them in. Let them know it was blade work. So whoever done did it knows their way around a dagger.
At that, I'll just take a quick look at my bag to see if I have all my daggers there.
That's when you notice that one's missing.
A fresh one.
No. I don't know if she noticed it before, but she's missing one.
Ah, I thought that was already passed. Yeah, if she looks.
Because
Krug-
Kruger hasn't really handed the stuff back yet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He did tell me. I don't think he told anyone else. Kruger did mention I know Zakar's looking for a dagger. Kruger did mention that he found on Noxia's person a few knickknacks and bits, things taken from each of us. I think she had a caltrop from me, a gold nugget from all of us, and a dagger. So I believe that might.
Don't
be
forget the
yours.
diamond.
And the diamond. That's right, the diamond. So she might have had a bit of a sticky finger situation going on, but I think that might have been your dagger. They're
Not a-
downstairs if you wish to retrieve it.
Wasn't a bloody dagger, was it?
I don't know. Kruger only told me about it, right? He didn't like freaking open the bag and say, "Look, stuff."
I think I would have showed you, just kind of like open it up
It was
as I
not.
like told you some things.
It was not bloody, right?
I don't think so. I figured that would have been an important thing when I saw it. Was it bloody, Zargan?
No.
Okay.
It's the murder weapon with fingerprints all over it. You've been
Kruger may not be the
touching it.
smartest, but he could at least put that together.
No blood on the dagger, no.
Are the crew typically armed?
They all usually have some sort of dagger or knife, but no real weapons.
Maybe
Sauce.
tomorrow.
Well, they need something to eat their food with.
I'm
Cut some loose rope, trim sail.
certainly a bit curious who would have done so, even in front of two drunk sailors who has managed to be able to do so much work in such a short time.
Well, blood isn't that easy to get out. Maybe we could do some weapons inspections tomorrow.
I mean,
Free laundry service.
it would be stupid of the person to still have the knife. They could have easily pitched it off overboard. And
Very true as well.
Could see if someone's missing one.
they could have very easily swiped one.
Sakara's missing one.
I was gonna say that. Looks like the cow top was rammed repeatedly into her too.
We can't ignore the fact that perhaps the person who did it might even expect to be caught to do something like this. Not have an exit strategy, unless they want to go for a very long swim. I have to imagine that they would expect to be caught or at least investigated. So I would likely not have anybody wander alone. And Noxia was apparently drinking with the other two shortly before she was attacked.
But why do this now when all of us are back? Not while we were away from the ship.
You got me? Closest thing I can think of is someone wished to send a message. It's a bit of a leap, a bit of a knee jerk, but like you said, why wait for us all to return when the odds of success would have been lower? Why not deal with Noxio while it was just regular crewmen? I think there might be a message attached to it. We just don't know how to read it.
We were gone for a while. Maybe one of them's been sleeping with Noxia, and now that Glizik's back, was jealous.
I was just typing that out, Galgrim. But thank you.
A rampant human love.
Yeah.
It's like the Love Boat, but with a lot more murder drama.
So now, Zaragon, I want to play my half goblin race, half human, half goblin.
Your hoblin.
Oblin.
Anyway, I figured I'd keep you abreast of the situation. I'm gonna go catch some sleep for the rest of the evening. Seems like you two are up and about.
I think we pretty much plan on sleeping during the day and being up to keep an eye on things at night for the rest of the trip.
Kruga's down below keeping an eye on Glizik, and Valis has just begun to wander about. So
It seems like some of us should get some shut-eye. There will be plenty of opportunity to question people tomorrow, and that is very much your wheelhouse.
many tells, though an observant eye is usually the one to find them first. I'm more of catching someone on a double back on a story rather than seeing the twitch of the eye sort of fellow.
That is kind of why the two of us will be up at night, keeping an eye on things and, rummaging around.
Well, I'm gonna make my way down below deck. Find myself to my quarters. I'm gonna leave Noxia on the table for now because there's really nowhere better to put her at the moment. She's not out in the open where the gulls can get to her. And I'm gonna take Nether back from Zakara, and that'll be my little guard snake for the night. Put a little bucket trap, but with a snake at the top
Gotcha.
over the door.
He'll fall on them and then hiss. real loud.
I mean,
And
wouldn't
then give-
you?
And then
If you
give
were-
them a healing potion.
Yep.
That's what
you-
he does.
Would you hiss very loudly if someone just woke you up by throwing you off of your perch?
Maybe.
Is it a hiss or a scream? Do snakes scream?
No, they
No.
hit.
Bunnies scream.
Bunny scream. Yeah.
Geckos scream.
Yeah, bunnies scream like humans.
If she screams when I grab his butt.
You do, baby.
All right, those of you who are going to sleep, crawl back into your hammocks and try to catch a couple more hours of sleep before dawn comes. And the rest of the night passes uneventful. Welcome to day 5. Only 12 more. Only 16 more days to go.
Every
What would
day
you
at
like to do on
midnight,
day 5?
somebody dies.
Everything is fine.
I would like to sleep.
I'd like to cook breakfast to pretend like nothing is wrong.
You can help. You can help the cook.
I would like to wait for the crew to be out and about to go through more things.
Well, due to a ship, rarely is the entire crew up and about at one time. They do it in shifts. Usually one shift on watch. There's like a morning shift, an afternoon shift, and a really small night shift.
I'll chill until I'm at a point where I'd probably be awake for both shifts to at least have a little time up. You know, kind of wake up at noon. Morning shift folks will be on for a while, and then I'll be up for a little bit after the night shift folks get on. It's hard to question people when they're sleeping.
All right, I mean, the days is going to go by with whatever you guys wish to do.
Well,
What's going on with the body? The crew's not going to be happy with a dead corpse on the boat for long.
Well, there's going to start being more if we don't find out who did this.
well, that seems like a perfect segue into what's going on today. There's
We
a
start
dead body-
voting crew members off the ship until we get the imposter.
All right, they vote you guys off.
They can try and vote us off. They gotta fight us.
You didn't say about fighting. You said voting.
Yeah, how are they gonna push us off?
You
I
mean-
see your vote. Considering it's a dumbass vote, I've decided to ignore it.
We're going
Basically.
to slit your throat first.
Hey,
Um,
Kruga, he voted for you. I think he goes today, right? Yep. You hucks
I
off
would
the
like,
vote.
before we start doing our round of questioning and, you know, seeing the story, because, I mean, this is going to be the hotness of the fucking day. Everyone's going to be talking about the goblin that got killed, because what else fucking happened? A seagull shit on the deck?
I saw some fish.
And for this, I think I would like to have both. Oh, this is actually Zakara for sure. She's got a sharp eye.
Fuck you,
Gal-
my eyes are better than hers.
I'll get to that point. Galgrim is more of a fucking liability in these social
Whiner.
situations. And Kruga is for a different reason. But normally I take Glizik too, but he's a little distraught.
I'm
I
on
think-
goblin sitting duty.
I think if
Actually,
Zakar-
ideally, the best way to do that is have Zakar and I be on different sleep schedules, because there's essentially 3 8-hour chunks of a day.
Yep.
And Zakar and I each sleep for, like, Zakar sleeps at 1, I sleep at 2, and then we're both awake for 3, and that leaves us both kind of partially awake while Raz is doing questioning, and then
That's also why I'm taking Zakara, because you ran off to sleep too. You're like, morning, good night.
I mean, I was kind of making a joke about that, but
Plus, if Zakara ever feels she's got good intuition. I feel after our adventuring together, she ever feels like she needs to swipe something or do something, she usually doesn't get herself stabbed for it. So
Yeah, I mean, she's good at stealing stuff from people and good with daggers. Yeah.
and slitting people's throats, and yeah,
Yep.
the similarities of the crime and the person capable of doing it was not lost on me. No.
You have never seen me slit someone's throat.
Yeah, it's
With
because
a-
you're good at stealth, obviously.
And then-
keyword
Uh,
there, scene. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll have Zakara join me if she's willing to help poke around and see if any stories are a little bit more suspicious than others. Uh, as for everyone else, it's kind of just, if they're around, they're around, and if not, then, well, if we need a fireball, I know where I can find Valis.
Yay.
Down below, Dex plotting his force cage.
So, to get things started here, my loadout for the day isn't going to be terribly useful in this regard. I've got silver tongue mutagens, but they only last a minute. I kind of want to wait until we get a little bit more information before I start popping those, if they're even needed. But let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
This is what I'm running today, Zargan, just so you're aware of what I'm working with. And since I haven't divvied anything up, they're basically all on me, except a Quicksilver I will give to Zakara, as well as one healing, one Elixir of Life, which I'll change on that post right now. Nethera will also hold the other Quicksilver mutagen in case I need it. All right, so Zakara, you will have a Quicksilver mutagen and an Elixir of Life. And you know what? Just why not? You can have a Cheetah's Elixir too.
Thank you.
One for you, one for you, one for everybody. Good job, Ope.
Make it rain.
I think that is updated. Wait. Oh yeah, Nethera's holding the Quicksilver. I can listen to myself. Okay, updated that. All right. Same familiar abilities, independent and manual dexterity. So I guess some sweeping conversations with the crew to see if anybody stands out. Just general, hey, did you hear about what happened last night? And, ain't that just the damnedest thing? See if anybody stands out, both to any sort of social prodding, or if Zakara picks up anything weird or, suspicious about somebody reacting to it. I do want to use my badge just to get the bonus going, because I think it resets at dawn, if I remember correctly.
It would reset whenever you prepare.
Okay, so I got to do a new check for that one and apply it to whatever ethnicity of human these all fall under.
The Crewmanians.
The
Extra human.
Crewmanians. Let's do society, recall knowledge.
You waiting
So-
to, like, after breakfast, I'm assuming, during the day?
I mean, I can do it pretty much when I wake up. It lasts the whole day.
No, I meant your upcoming questioning.
Oh, yeah, we'll wait till folks are kind of up and the morning shift's kind of milling about, grabs their breakfast, and are definitely the word's
Yep.
starting to get around for those. It's not like anybody
You
didn't
do
know,
see
but-
Glizzix up there, like, helping with cooking the food and handing out bowls of whatever they're cooking.
Hmm.
Can't
We
let
haven't
the
Looks like
meat.
he's,
we
looks like
haven't
he's
much-
working through.
haven't
Can't let the
tagged
meat go to waste. We got stag chops to hand out.
As for what, oh yeah, just to answer your question earlier on what to do with her body, probably just put it in one of the rooms that's not being used by us while we're kind of doubling up, I'd imagine.
Well, you don't really have your. I mean, there's no, like, empty rooms.
Well, I mean, they got to meet us halfway somewhere here, all right?
Yeah, their idea is to wrap it up in some sailcloth and throw it overboard.
Yeah,
That's
there's
what they do with their dead.
okay, so like in the real world, however, until we figure out who killed somebody, that's what we call a bad move. Throwing evidence
yeah,
literally
but-
off the boat.
Ships usually have a freezer though, and you don't.
Yeah, well.
It's gonna start smelling nice here.
Just hit with a ray of frost.
I'm
Her
sure
arm falls off.
well, if we got to keep it in the room that we've been crashing in, just at least for the day, then so be it. But I mean, throwing the body off just seems like a bad idea when we're still trying to figure out what happened to it.
I want to at least open a window.
Open a porthole.
I cast Force Cage to open a portal.
No. We're below the waterline.
At some point, we'll probably have to talk to the two drunk assholes after they've sobered up a bit because they're probably sucking right now. But yeah, let's just start getting a lay of the land, seeing if anybody in particular kind of stands out when word starts getting around. And
All right, you start. They're assuming they're eating. Eating their hardtack and thag chops for breakfast
bag chops.
I used to have a lay of the land.
with some water and stuff, and people are coming up and down on deck. Getting food. Lizzie's taking some food downstairs to people on the one deck down below. Bringing some food down to you guys if you're not up on deck.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead. I don't know if she's gonna have to roll something separate for like reading people's reactions as opposed to me seeing if just stories don't add up. But
Both of you
Like-
roll me a check in the tower. What you think would be appropriate?
Is this like sense motive?
Could be, if that's what you want to use. That'd be
I think
perception.
it's kind of our choice. We'll go with
After you roll in the tower, explain to me how you're using that skill to do what you want.
oh, can't forget my +1. I'm going to use diplomacy. More trying to get people's stories, what they were doing when when did they hear about it, and like what did they do when they came out and saw what it was, and ain't that just weird? I mean, yes, little goblin, so sad, but I mean, it's kind of wacky, there's someone running around killing people, and I think the cat, just basically gossiping with it, but on a more using diplomacy to do it, seeing if something doesn't quite add up when John tells me about, Ben over there who was in the loo, but Ben's over here saying, "Oh yeah, I was up there and I turned around and she was there." It's like looking for inconsistencies.
Hmm.
So that's how I'm using it.
And use a card.
I'm probably, I guess, looking more at body language, or they seem uncomfortable about something, or
They just keep trying
don't.
to be very dismissive and trying to be pensive about it.
Yeah, like they don't seem to really care.
Yeah, man, crazy. I'm trying to eat my breakfast. I just like to talk about that sort of thing when I'm eating.
Oh, it
Okay.
fixed the boat.
You guys probably takes you a good half hour, 45 minutes to go through the entire
Currently awake crew.
Between people coming and going, and mostly their stories are very similar. They went to bed and woke up when the scream. I mean, did a little bit different variations of that, but that's basically what everyone says. Zakara, for you, for you, Raz. I mean, their stories make sense from what you understand of how the events went. That this happened on third watch. Only the two guys that are drunk down in the cargo hold were awake. So
That's
very possibly.
That definitely would be a point of the conversation too. Is the two drunks. Trying to also gauge if that's a common occurrence, if those two are often on the just kind of on the sauce a lot when they shouldn't be. But
Not
yeah.
particularly, but I mean, several of them have admitted to drinking when they're not supposed to. It happened.
It's an understandable thing to do at sea.
Yeah.
You get complacent, and you get
Yep.
dropped down
Exactly.
into green instead
Bored and nothing else to do but drink.
Yeah,
Zakara, everyone seems legit about what they're saying. A few of them feel uncomfortable talking about it, but you think it's more of they're uncomfortable with someone being killed on board, like like that, and like branded. Some of them you think might be that they just are cold-hearted and don't give a fuck about a goblin either way. And that's about what you guys get.
And after we've made our rounds on this end, and when we find ourselves a little bit more out of earshot of the general crew, we'll kind of exchange notes on what we may or may not have noticed. And generally, yeah, on my end, things make sense. There's not a lot of wiggle room. It's not hard to come up with a solid alibi on a boat like
Correct.
this.
Valis,
But-
where are you during this?
I'm staying within visual range of Glizek.
Killing the next goblin. What?
No,
Well, Glizik's delivering food to everybody. Are you following him around?
that kinda.
Okay. A little
Like
weird,
Kronk
but okay.
trying to be sneaky?
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're gonna be with me, I want you to hold this and like whatever. Like I don't know. What? But just wait outside the door. I'll do the deliveries and come back out. We'll try and get as much of this done as quick as possible because I got to start helping them with lunch soon after this. I'm
You
just
guys
you
all
can
kind
tell.
of froze on me for a moment. I'm not sure what you said there.
Basically, I'm just saying that we'll go and pass out the food. He can carry it for me because he's strong, and then just hold on to the whatever we're doing, bowls or whatever, so you can carry the pot. I'll take the bowls inside the room, give them to the crew or whatever, then come back out and get some more or whatever.
Okay.
Like autopilot mode.
Yep. Because lunch is going to be coming up to start prepping as soon as this gets
Yep.
done.
And Galgrim and Kruger are resting or sleeping because they're changing their sleepings. All right,
Well-
take you guys 45 minutes to an hour to go through the questioning, deliver all the meals.
Nothing particularly standing out in any of the stories on my end.
Other
You pick-
than the couple who just didn't seem to care that a goblin was dead. They seemed pretty sincere.
Might have to do another round when the next shift wakes up. At some point, I would like to talk to the captain, and after we get a better lay of the land, perhaps after the next shifts over, and we do that round there, and the two chained up downstairs won't be more than sober by then. So I think at this point we might just be passing some time.
You know, I kind of wish we had Noxia touch the pearl.
Yeah, is a good point. Would have been interested to see what she saw out of it.
Maybe she would have
Yeah.
saw this coming.
About noon or so, the second watch kind of gets up. It's not their turn yet, but they get up and to eat breakfast, which is everyone else's lunch. And you guys go through the whole cycle again of questioning them, glazing them, and I'm assuming you following him around. You following him around again, Valis?
Yeah, I gotta make sure someone doesn't try and shank his ass.
Okay.
Goblin
Alright,
has
you
a
go
bodyguard.
You do
I
round
always-
number 2 of feeding people.
I always knew you liked my ass. Thanks, buddy.
You go down to the cargo hold, Glizik. The two drunkards haven't touched their breakfast, so you take it away and leave them another bowl of food for their lunch. They're probably still passed out.
No accounting for taste, I guess, Valis.
Well, yeah, you left them food.
Do you want to have a bowl of this? They're extra.
For sure.
Not horrible. I helped. All right, Derek, I guess we'll eat the food that was there for the drunk guys.
Okay. Raz, you start questioning the second watch, kind of pretty much the same type of answers. And Zakar, same kind of responses.
Well, this
only
is
like, This is the
this
second watch.
second watch, so I would be asleep and then Galgrim would be awake, I think. Right?
Oh,
Yep.
is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, second watch hasn't started.
He said
They
kinda
get up
got
like a couple hours before so they can kind of relax, do some personal things before their watch starts.
shift
Oh, okay.
change.
So not yet.
Yeah, shift change isn't quite yet. Kind of a repeat of the whole earlier thing where, no one knows anything. They all went to bed and until they heard the scream and so forth. As before, a few of them, don't see what the big deal is. It's only, they're a little worried that, some of them are a little worried that someone was killed.
Where
But
is that one guy
also-
that I pointed out?
He was in the first shift.
Okay.
I also don't necessarily. One or two of them don't really care. I mean, it's only a goblin. It's it's not like it's a real person. Definitely, if it was one of the crew members, it'd be they would care more.
Bold assumption to make that that a crew member wouldn't be up on the chopping block, huh?
You know what to do, Zakara.
Yeah.
Breaking fourth wall.
I mean, I figured the goblin would be low-hanging fruit. That's why they would have been picked first, but with them out of the way,
Too soon.
what would be next?
Another
Rat-
goblin.
I mean, Zakara's up there with me. Raz isn't afraid to be a little insensitive on the subject if he thinks that's going
No.
to get a better response from people.
I bet low hanging fruit hanging off the mast. Too soon.
That's why I'm sticking with Glisten.
I am going to just make a note of the ones who really didn't seem to care at all.
Okay.
Was Hank one of them?
Well, yes, he was.
I mean, you can not give two shits about the goblin, but there's someone running around stabbing people. I feel like there should be a healthy interest in this. But yeah, if not too much there, I'll do a basic rundown with the notables of the ship if they're even willing to chat. Anders get his 2 cents on it. Especially since one, he's worked with us, so he actually is a little bit more closer to us than the rest of the crew who are just like whatever people transporting. And then the captain, if he's willing to even discuss much about it, more about the general safety for the rest of his passengers, sort of thing, as a concerned person, more than anything else. Not even necessarily alluding that the goblin, since that seems to be the hot thing on this boat, is not giving a shit about the goblin. Okay, don't really care about the goblin. What about the rest of the what about the rest of the people who are not usually on this crew who are starting getting
Well,
stabbed?
they didn't have any trouble until you guys came back from the island.
A very astute observation.
With the pearl.
I mean, I want to say Nixia, but Noxia. Damn it, whoever was posting that shit earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
Just
I mean,
the
Noxia was
fun.
on the boat with them for like 2-3 weeks with nothing happening,
There's a reason why they call her the brood mother. Yes.
and then a couple days after you guys come back and you start heading home, and all of a sudden she's dead, stuck to the mast.
That does actually raise a question for the captain while I'm talking to him on that one. What was the relationship while she was here, while we were gone? Did she get along with people?
She kept to herself mostly down below. I don't know if she got along with others or not.
I mean, it's no secret that she's obviously, half the crew doesn't really care. She's just kind of
Not many people,
there.
not many would have much to do with her. I mean,
Well, there wasn't like
but-
anybody on the crew that was all like, "Oh, these smelly goblins on the boat. Why are they even here? Kick them off," sort of thing. No hard feelings.
Not loud enough that he heard.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely interesting and concerning that this shit happened the moment we got back, which is why I'm concerned. Because it didn't happen on the way up here either while we were all here. Just piecing information together, hoping that it ain't going to be somebody else who wakes up getting stabbed tonight. The last thing I want to try then is the two people downstairs, see if their stories are a little bit more cohesive, because from what Kruger relayed to us, it sounded like they could barely even freaking stick a couple syllables together.
Okay.
I have Galgrim at this point though, right?
Depends on how long you wanted to wait. You could have him or Zakara, but Zakara will be heading off pretty soon.
There was some interest in Zakara from those two, apparently. That could be an angle.
Did that ever get passed along? Because
I
that was
wouldn't.
only
I wouldn't have said anything about it.
Okay,
Not that I
good. Okay, we can't work that angle then. Yeah, whoever's going to be awake then. It could be both of you for all I care at this point, but we need to scope out the two who were most likely to have seen something.
Well, which one are you taking Zakara, or are you waiting for Galgrim to get up and fully functional?
I mean, these two are probably still nursing a hell of a hangover. Oh, which which one would work better. Zakara is probably going to be more practical, just because she's not likely to shoot herself in the foot, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, we'll go with Zakara before she has to take off.
You guys go down down to the main deck, down below into the cargo hold. Get in there. I'm assuming you're taking some sort of light, since neither of you can see in the dark.
Torch.
That's fine.
Don't light the ship on fire, please. That's my job.
Her torch cannot.
All right. Are they conscious or are they just kind of dozing?
You get down there and they're still laying down there, like up against the wall, like still like passed out.
Food touched at all?
No.
Well, second set of food because I delivered the
Correct.
first and then
Right,
we ate
right.
it. Yeah.
But they haven't touched lunch.
Nope.
We wasted our fucking time, was it?
Well, I didn't know they didn't touch breakfast either. I'm just thinking they're sitting here sleeping. All right. Are we able to get in there with them, or is this sort of like
yeah.
someone's got to let you in deal?
No.
Okay. They're
They
just
don't have
shackled
like a
to the
cell or
back.
nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
They're just shackled to the wall.
Well, heavy
Ooh.
sleepers, but not much else to do when you're chained, I suppose. I'll kind of come up and tap one of them on the boot, see if they're alive.
Nothing.
Other one?
Nothing.
Gonna have Zakara come up with me a little, kind of crouch down to give me some light. I'll kind of tilt one of the heads and see if they're just like stone blackout drunk. I've done this one enough.
Not breathing.
Not breathing? You mean these motherfuckers are dead?
Valis, I suddenly don't feel so good about our
Yes.
breakfast that we ate.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'll kind of put one of the heads up of one of them and just kind of lightly tap him
You
on the
pull it up.
cheek, and
Nope.
he's just like limp as a basket.
Yep.
You had contingency today, right?
Do the usual response things, lift up the eyelids, see if the light does anything. Nothing, probably glossed over. No pain response. Same with the other one.
I stabbed him.
Dead.
The knuckle on the sternum, that one will do it every time. If you're faking it, you ain't
see
faking it for long.
You do see some slight bruising starting to form around their necks.
How hard did you hit them?
Slight bruising, huh?
Yeah, like someone choked, like picked them out by their throat or was choking them.
Is there like a craft check I can do to try to assess if they were like choked to death or something else might have? I can't cut and autopsy them, obviously, but
Remove the head and check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your skill in the tower.
Who would have been more useful now, bitch?
Crap.
He says in his sleep.
Big things I want to see if like somebody literally came up and like choked them to death, or if it might
You
have been something
don't
else.
think so, but you're not 100% sure. You've never
Right.
really seen anyone choked to death. Most of your deaths are violent. You mean like
Yeah.
weapons and stuff.
I think we have an issue here, Zakara.
A bit. Wasn't expecting this.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
You hear softly in your ear.
The nifty red uniforms.
I suppose the first thing we should do is alert the captain, since now some of his own men are gone. Right. The bruising here around the neck. I don't think this is what did them in, but it certainly isn't going to paint a pretty picture. I don't know if someone maybe was keeping them quiet while something else did the deed, but
Well, I'm no medical expert. You don't think they were choked to death?
it's difficult to tell without a full autopsy, but it doesn't look like the trauma is good enough to have actually killed them outright. Maybe incapacitated them, knocked them, like choked them into unconsciousness, and then you could do whatever you wanted to them. But I don't think there's enough trauma here to a crushed larynx ain't gonna be the cause of death, I don't think.
Well, there's lots of different poisons out there and other things. Magic.
Indeed. Well, we need to go alert the captain, because then maybe he'll start taking it a bit more seriously, though we are in a bit of a precarious situation.
We'll need to check for brands on these ones.
There's nothing of the sort visible on them, right? Are they wearing like low fee cut shirts for the salt wind?
Yeah, they just have this normal sailor stuff garb on.
Nothing so
They have
telling
no
of these people.
visible wounds.
Inconvenient that the two who might have likely seen the most are the ones that are now no longer able to speak. All right. Well, there's nothing for it now. We need to go tell the captain so that he probably do something. He's probably not going
Throws
to be
everyone
happy about
overboard.
this. Probably not going to be happy because now it ain't just a little level 1 goblin.
Well, now maybe he'll take a more active role in finding who did this.
I think maybe we should collect whoever we may find along the way. Humans tend to be quite knee-jerky when these things develop. We're gonna head on back up, make our way to the captain, and I guess anybody we see from our group will.
Look, it's a little Zakara.
It's a little Zakara.
She's over here the whole time. Just I was playing with some string with her. Whenever I lean to the left, I'm playing with the cat.
Yeah, we'll grab whoever we can see along the way. If they're sleeping in a room, shake them awake because they're about to be woken up one way or another.
The only ones who are sleeping are the ones that were on the night watch.
All right.
And the drunk guys.
Well, they're taking the long sleep.
The
They're sleeping
long-
permanently now.
Stop by the room then. If it's folks on night shift that are sleeping, wake them up.
Yep.
What is
What?
that?
What? It's not my shifter again already.
No, not the people. I don't give a shit about the fucking crew. They're gonna get woken up one way or the other.
Oh,
I'm
you
talking about
mean
our
the-
folks.
Oh, okay. You stopped by
Yeah,
and
like
Kruger and
Kruger and
Galgrim are
them.
both kind of getting up. They're having a push-up contest, and well, Galgrim's losing badly.
The push-up contest is being done by the bear. Let's be honest. Yeah, Zakar and I will kind of pop in at the door, kind of knock. We might have a problem.
Talking to us, or
Yes.
what's that?
Not might.
You were when you were talking to those two chained downstairs, they were a bit more alive. Yes.
As I left them,
Well, they're not now. We just went to go see if they were a bit more talkative once they've sobered up, and it seems that they've since passed. Bruising around the neck, though I don't think it's the cause of death. I can't tell what had done it.
it wasn't the bruising around the neck.
It certainly wasn't enough to have killed them for sure.
I was the bruising around the neck.
Somehow I'm not surprised. Well, like I said, it didn't kill him. But something did, and without an autopsy, I can't quite tell exactly what it might have been.
You leave
They-
any of your fancy potions laying about that may have done it?
Not today. I haven't whipped up a poison in quite a while. And anything else I've got is either more explosive or beneficial.
What about the poison that we gathered before we came back?
Like the wyvern venom and all that.
Yeah,
We
all
found
I-
poison, didn't we?
Yeah,
Black smear poison.
black sphere poison and wyvern venom. Those are accounted for, right? When we looked through our bags, they weren't missing.
You look through your bags, and they're there.
Well,
At least the vials and that are there. I mean, you have to open them up and taste them to see for sure.
I'm sure that tastes fantastic. That's okay. I will
Nice
pass it
try.
at the moment. Usually, the smell is enough to tell you whether something is bad to eat.
Some poisons are odorless and colorless.
Yeah, the ones you need to eat.
Iocane.
These are injury poisons. I don't care if you can smell this shit.
I
Yeah, I
spent
think
years
that's both
building up
are-
immunity to iocane powder.
That's right.
We
Iocane. I'd bet my life on it.
we've spent the day trying to talk with the crew and see if anyone's story's not adding up. The captain didn't seem to give too much care, for it wasn't one of his crew that were dealt in. I think that's about to change. So we're probably about to start hearing some yelling.
Humani only care about their own.
It's infuriating. Anyway, figured we'd let you know now before somebody comes up and shakes you violently and gets thrown through a porthole for it.
That'd be impressive.
Still might need to happen.
There was
That
a portal before
challenging?
we started, but there is a hole in the ship now.
We'll continue to make our way up, and if any of our folks are here, I will let them know. Pass by and let me. Shit's about to go down. I'm sure. Just when stuff starts moving around, at least now you've got the heads up. And we'll make our way to the captain's quarters. Oh yeah, somebody tell Anders too.
Isn't Anders the captain?
I don't think he was the formal captain of the vessel, was he?
No, there is a captain. He's
Okay.
the owner.
Yeah,
Can
someone.
we take lunch to the captain as well?
I'm just gonna take up the same post that I had before, just sitting down in the crew quarters and watching.
And
Well-
if Galgrim was in there with you, then he's got a pair of sharp eyes to keep on you too. Once people start realizing something's up, see if anyone does something weird.
We're gonna stop it here.
What? We're not going to ominously open up the captain's quarters and see him lifeless in his chair,
Stapled
motionless,
to it.
stapled
he
to his
know?
chair. I
You
don't
got
know.
Staples.
hmm
Industrial modern day staples.
Nope, we are gonna stop it here. I think this is a good place to stop it before anything else happens.
The murder boat.
Very interesting.
Valis,
What's going on?
Why do I get the feeling we're about to have our first piracy?
Valis, I don't feel so good. Maybe we shouldn't have ate the bowl of clam chowder that was sitting out for like 4 hours.
Told you we should have swapped with the hot one.
Ain't you supposed to have like a good immune system or something, Goblin?
Yeah, but
Yeah, to
still.
normal stuff like dead, dead animals and stuff like that he eats, but not real food.
Yeah, I mean, my constitution is only 10 now that I've increased it.
Well, we'll have to see how dead the captain is next week.
Tune in
On
next
Dragon
week.
Ball Z.